Yes, good people. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning Show. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. Please do accept whatever suits your time zone, but more importantly, Blue Morning to you. We'll come back again. I will continue with a lineup building exercise where we try to select the best starting 11 for Chelsea Football Club, or for Graham Potter, if you prefer, for the coming season. It's been fun since yesterday, but yesterday was mixed with quite a lot of, debates, important debates nonetheless, so no matter how you see that. But more importantly, this is an interactive show. The audience are important. Those on the panel are also everybody can equally important. So let me see what you have there already. And please, I'm going to keep clamoring this. I'm going to keep trying to educate us. Let's try the best we can to always, except for the start of the show, you have the right to say everything you want regarding Chelsea Football Club. But we should try to make sure whatever we're saying is aligned with the current topic that's being talked about, if that makes sense to you. And Leon Names is a Blue Morning Kachila panel and chat. Blue Morning to you too. As usual, one of the first to arrive. And please, as you're coming in, make sure to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. So thank you so much. We sincerely do appreciate that. Santiago Mono. Blue Morning Kachila panel and chat sent to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know. I'm tuning in from Kenya 254. Nice to see you, brother. Thank you so much again. I hope the Kenyans are doing well. You guys seen Emir of Qatar bid 8 billion for Manchester United. He's capable of buying the club, and which means if he buys the club, they'd probably be the richest club in the whole world. They will be richest club in the league if he takes over. Yeah, again, that's where when you look at it, you say, thank goodness for FFP. If not, they'd blow everybody out of the water. Okay, let's see. We need to walk on Santos permit. Zakaria is back again on the training ground too. And when is Kante returning? They said this February, but let's see. I'm not sure. Again, we were told he was going to be back February, so we're February right now. Let's see what happens. In the case of Santos, you could say the club really do want him to stay. We'll talk about that in a bit. Plus, I think his work permit, getting him a work permit won't be that much of an issue. Why do I say that? Again, he's done well in the under-20 competition or South American under-20 competition. Probably will end up emerging as one of the best players in that particular competition. He's been brilliant. How many goals? Is it 5 goals in total or 4? But I think, his exploits there will help the club get him a work permit. Let's see. Anything else we have here? What's the update on Kante injury? He's back. He's training. That's all we know. We don't know. Again, pictures yesterday showed him on the training pitch, training with other players. A few days ago, he was training alone, but now he started training together with his teammate. Good morning, coach. How are you doing? I'm doing well, Ghana Charleston. I hope you're doing well too, brother. Victor Ogunbajo. Here comes my favorite analysis. Big up, Coach. Big analyst, and big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show, and thank you for that compliment. I think it will make the panelists happy. Morning, Kachila says Adebayo Makanju, my brother, my Niger brother. I hope you're doing well. And if you're watching, if you can, please take a second to share the stream on whatever social media platform you have presence, so that we can that will help us reach more people, and the more people we'll have, the more the opportunity we'll have to learn from others. What's the update? I've told you that already. Again, greetings to all. Gabriel Keita, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. And Bobby did say yes, smash the like button. Please keep doing that, people. Breaking news: Jurgen Klopp attempted to become Chelsea next manager. That's never going to happen. If the owners are really paying attention, I get it that in most cases, what the fans think don't really matter. But if they are well acquainted with the history of the club, they learn how the journey of what's his name, Rafael Benitez, former Liverpool manager, his journey as Chelsea manager, how it all went. I don't think it's risky. Yeah, again, the fans won't change anything. If he comes in and starts winning, that's fine. But how are you going to do that if the fans are not on your side? Because he said some nonsense about the club too, especially about our spending and all that. When are we having Wesley Fofana back? He's training with his teammates. There's no, I'm not sure. I can't give you again a specific date as to when he comes back. Again, people, if you're watching, if you're just joining, keep beefing up the like button, the likes, and if you're more, keep reminding people. Good afternoon, everyone. God bless you all. Oh, that's so beautiful to say from Kingsley Chinaweze, which means I think I know the meaning. I think God makes a king or so. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the meaning of your name. And if you're watching, if you haven't, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Is that a test? You should stop doing that so that the what's it called, the Nightbot, which is a machine that's policing the chat, so it doesn't see your comment as spam and boot you out, or maybe delete whatever you're saying, if that makes sense. Yep, let's go, people. Keep beefing up the like. Chelsea need a striker for next season. Just check how many shots on target Kai have and Felix had again in one game. Before we start saying Chelsea need a striker next season, let's try give Datro Fofana time in that position and see how well he does. Chances are, again, he puts away most of them. But I don't know if it's going to be, and I don't think we're looking for a traditional striker, by the way. I know a lot of people are saying that the club that was seriously looking at Victor Osimhen, but now the Napoli president, he's come out and made a public statement saying Osimhen is not for sale. And who would sell Osimhen? That, which means even if they want to sell him, he's not going to come for cheap. Plus, Man United also, he's Man United's top target, so which means he's not going to come for cheap. So I'm going to start going into the argument whether he fits into how Graham Potter plays the game or not. And to be specific, to let you know, he's going to be very expensive, and I don't think the club will be spending that much money. Plus, I think by next season would have what's his name, Amanda Breuer back, and Datro Fofana. Believe me, give him the chance, give him enough game time, and you'd see how good it is. But I get your argument. Much love from Trinidad and Tobago. Aaron George. I'd like to pronounce your name, Aaron, just like is it Key or Pele, two of the funniest guys on the internet, called Aaron George. Aaron George, welcome to the channel, and please do subscribe if you haven't. Subscribe, like, and comment. Let's grow the community. Yes, exactly. That's just the truth. Like a Chelsea diehard says, big up my brother. Again, are the rumors about Osimhen true? There's no way to tell, and that's why they're called rumors. Again, if it's still rumor, then there's no way you'd say it's the truth. So we just, but I say it's been difficult for the club to spend that much money on a traditional striker, even if we want one. If again, and I still think Osimhen isn't a hybrid striker. Do I think he's capable of becoming one? Yes, but that's when you talk about giving him more time to adapt. But if you want to sign him, you have to adjust the way you play to accommodate him as a traditional striker. Then he start firing on all cylinders for you. Let's get into the topics we have here. This one makes me happy. I've always talked about how this kid is not the sort of talent. So now we've changed topic. Nkunku can also play as a striker. But here's my argument about Nkunku. He's explosive. He's so talented. Nkunku is a playmaker. He has the qualities to be deployed as a 10, actually. But maybe he would need time to adapt. I'd rather play him as a second striker than as an out-and-out striker. You'd be wasting his talent. Maybe in a fluid approach where even if he's positioned as number 9, he still has to come back and participate in the play and plan the attack. Maybe that's what you do with Nkunku. But I don't want him to be deployed again. And I think Graham Potter wouldn't do that. It will be a serious waste of his talent, if that makes any sort of sense to you. So right now, pay attention, people. We've switched topics. Now we're talking about Andrey Santos. So let's keep it to Andrey Santos. And by the way, apologies, I misplaced his name in the post on Twitter. Andrey, I think I was missing. I missed a D. But yeah. And we move on. Apologies for that. Again, it's not okay to misplace anybody's name, but I work alone. I don't have a team here in terms of back end stuff. Front end, we work as a team. Those in the chat, those on the panel. But back end, I do a lot alone. So yeah, it's not easy to sometimes catch the mistakes. Luis and Claire, again, loud and clear in Zambia. Wilson Jerry, nice to see you, brother. Thank you. I hope that our Zambian brothers are doing well. And Nkunku is not a striker. He plays behind a striker, which means, again, a second striker in another language, another way to phrase it. And he is back to training. Yeah, that's some good news. to hear that Nkunku is back to training, which means he'll be ready to join us in the summer. But let's talk about again Andrey Santos. The fact that Chelsea want Andrey Santos to join the first team as soon as possible. A week ago or 2 weeks ago, it was Fabrizio Romano who reported that we believe we've signed a gem in the key. And believe me, he's a gem. I know. Again, some people will say again he's finding the under-20 competition very easy, but that's because he's beyond that level in terms of how mature he plays. And the truth is, if you understand football, when surrounded with much better players, the likelihood is that he shows again he'd be even more better. So Bobby, first of all, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. I know it's still morning there. 8 minutes more before it's noon. How are you doing, brother?
Big up, coach.
Big up to you too. What do you think about the Andrew Santos news that Chelsea again, Fabrizio Romano and Onam? I don't know if I should call them Onam or Nam, reporting that Chelsea wants him to be part of the first team. Yeah, I take it. Would be loaded in that area, and again, what's up, Bobby?
Yeah, that's good. I'm still, for me, the jury's still out. I still think um, it's a good start. It's better he's performing excellently in underage
Mhm,
competitions than he's not. That's for sure.
mhm.
But I think, if he pleasantly surprises us and he fits into the first team, which is very, very possible, that would really be a bonus. But having him in the first team is, of course, it's a good thing. It can only be a good thing.
Yeah, that's the truth. It can only be a good thing. And again, give him a chance. And I agree with you. We can't just say, "Oh, he's going to be fighting Arsenal in this." We need to see him. The good thing is the opportunity is there, and the club wants to keep him. So yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Hopefully he doesn't disappoint, because there's no guarantee he comes in and starts firing Arsenal in that. But there's more hope than than doubt that he does well. If that happens, yeah. Thank you
I
so
have
much.
one slight concern, though,
Mhm.
with all.
Go ahead.
We're getting some injuries back, um, and we're getting in people like Andrea Santos, and it would just be so sad and unfortunate if we don't, at the very least, continue in Champions League progression. So these players can come back and actually get to play.
Mhm.
Because if not, it will just be them on a training exercise to the end of the season, and many of them won't really have anything to get excited about or to push themselves for. So that's the only slight concern. It's so important that we overcome this hurdle of Dortmund, which is going to be huge, and be able to progress. Because the way I see it, the way I see it, we might start to function
Mhm.
late in the day, and that would be a real shame. That would be
Yeah.
really
So you
sad.
don't think those guys coming back from injury will be ready for that game against Dortmund?
Most of them will. It's next week, isn't it? The first leg.
Yeah, it is. But I don't think the
So
likes of N'Golo Kante, for instance, I don't think he'd be ready.
Kante won't be ready. I hear Zakaria's training. Will he be ready? Probably not. Fofana, will he be match fit? Probably not. So it's still they're not back properly. Even Reece James, how fit will he be? I know he'll give it everything he's got because he's Reece James, but how fit will he be? Ben Chilwell, the same thing. In a game that we're playing, perhaps one of the most in form uh, teams in Europe. Dortmund have been going great recently. So,
Hmm.
not that we can't beat them, of course we can, but we're weakened. And
Yeah.
one thing that tires me this season is that we are always. I'm just fed up of constantly seeing us in a position of weakness. Um, which is it's well. Let's see what happens. I'm
Yeah,
just
let's see what happens. But if we can overcome them, by the time we play the next game, I think we'll have quite a lot of our
we'll be
players.
better off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be better. In the defensive area, I think we're not really good. It just occurred to me that Badiashile won't be part of the Champions League squad this season. So yeah, that had he been again registered, then you'd say, well, okay, in the defensive area,
Well,
even in defensive area.
as long as they stay fit, coach, I don't think in the
Hmm.
defensive area it's bad. Badiashile definitely makes us much stronger, but it's
Hmm.
not bad. I don't think, people have completely written off Koulibaly. I mean, he hasn't been ripping up trees, but he hasn't been, you
The
know,
one player.
yeah, it's not like he's appalling or he's so bad that we can't. I think we'll probably be able to rely on him more in the Champions League, and he has been playing Champions League games for us, and I can't remember him being bad in them really.
Yeah. And if we're
So
being honest, again, those games that people are pointing at, those performances that people are pointing at happened at the time where the whole team was struggling.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's I don't think we are defensively weaker for not having Badiashile. I mean,
Hmm.
definitely we'll need him. Please God, if we get there next season, because he will definitely give you an edge. But we've got enough. The issue is to stay fit. If they're fit, anything can happen. We could do something in that competition if our
Yeah.
players are fit, for sure.
Yeah. So again, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm gonna wait for this poll to get to at least a 50, maybe 50 votes before I drop it and try something else there. We have a new show that we'll be introducing. That one is different. Again, during evening shows, but it's gonna be just max 1 hour. Greetings, bro. Greetings to you too. Phil R7. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. That means a lot to us. And Andrey Santos is a baller. He is, but again, you should all again pay attention to Bobby's argument. Let's see him do that because you could say the truth is the Premier League and Chelsea is a much higher level than the youth competition. But yeah, we've gotten people from that level, and they come in and still was able to do a good job. So let's see. But he looks like he's a real deal. We need to sign Napoli striker next year. Ghana Charleston, I know you're talking about Victor Osimhen. Like I said, it's never going to be easy. It's going to be much a difficult deal to pull off. And plus, the Napoli president has come out in the let's say you're saying Osimhen isn't for sale, and the message is sending if you're going to buy him, if we're going to sell him, it has to be some record has to be broken. If that makes sense, this is the best chance for Chelsea to get a best striking again after missing the signing of Haaland. Danny Basil, here again, pay attention, guys. We're talking about Andrey Santos right now. It can be exhausting to switch between topics. And be sure, again, to keep it aligned. Otherwise, I'm going to be skipping your comments. If Santos joins our first 11, we will be good, but the fan base is the issue. If you think if it doesn't click, but I think he clicks. He has a mentor, you could say, in Thiago Silva, who speaks the language, again, Portuguese too. So they both be probably one of the reasons why we'll be fighting to keep Thiago Silva, even if it is help to make sure he Santos settles in well. Let me see what else we have here. Coachella, is the future of Chelsea looking uncertain? No, it's not. It's, if anything, I'm only concerned about the immediate future, whether it would make it into top four, whether it would be part of the next edition of the Champions League. Not really about the future. I'm going to say this again about the Chelsea future. About the Chelsea future, if you're opposition, whether even if you're a Chelsea fan, you need glasses to look at how the Chelsea future, because of how bright it is. You'll go blind if you don't protect yourself, if that makes any sort of sense. I'm going to keep saying that. I don't like Bobby. Bobby out. Bobby, you see that in the chat? That's Roger. He wants you out. He doesn't like you. And I know you believe that.
Yeah,
And
I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask for him.
and I'm
What's he
going to
doing
delay.
there? Get in
I'm going to
here.
delay. I'm going to delay bringing him on so he doesn't come and defend himself and say I was only joking.
Get in here. What is this?
And your take on the rugby coach? Yeah, we've talked about that yesterday. It's a good thing. Forget about all the jokes. it's easy to, again, to find an angle, to see it from a funny angle. Some ties it to ground Potter not being effective and all of that. It's only natural. We had fun, but we recognize it that it has been existing in football, and we come to the conclusion that what makes that very unique is that, again, you could say the popularity or the profile of the person, again, that's been hired. That's why everybody is talking about it like it's something new. I don't think it's something new, really. And yeah, it's easy to tie it to ground Potter being the one that needs, some calling it a shrink or whatever you want to call it. But I want to move on from that. Yes, people, please keep liking the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. Thank you so much for all the support. You wanted to say something, Bobby?
Yeah, can I sound a note of caution?
Yeah, go ahead.
In terms of our future. Our future does look bright, and we are going forward to create the team that the owners want to create, in terms of a team very capable of astonishing success. However, what is going on now in English football, possibly eventually in European football, it disturbs me. It disturbs me in that all this kerfuffle about financial fair play is some kind of uh, uh, political speak of financial curbing. I think a lot of this is geared towards sustaining and maintaining the old establishment clubs such that nobody else can overtake them. Because all of a sudden, you're finding that people are getting the media in particular is getting all excited about maybe Manchester United are going to be bought by who? Qataris. Um, they rejoice, as it were, in the financial expansion of these old establishment clubs, and become particularly hostile to the lesser clubs who gain financial superiority. Now, I understand that there should be a fair play aspect of finances. But when you, okay, let's put it this way. If you're a club like Real Madrid, for example, and you have a huge global patronage, you are hugely sponsored by TV rights and everything. Your income is big. Your disposable income as well is huge, and then suddenly you get sponsors from a country. You become financially invincible because your income is already big, and it's already a platform for which you can grow even bigger and spend even more. You put yourself in a position where nobody will have any chance whatsoever to even compete with you. So this clamor for financial fair play, as it were, to crush competition, which is what it's doing. I like the next person. I don't like Man City because of their competitiveness and the fact that they really got in our way, and they've dominated English football for about the past decade. But at the same time, I'm looking at it, the Man Cities of this world, the Newcastles of this world, and I'm saying, look, it's time that the whole financial rules be revised such that a team like Manchester United, that is already big, doesn't become so big that there's no point in competing against them. But they're trying to create that situation. I mean, for example, if those Qataris actually do succeed in buying Manchester United, then everybody else should just forget it. It's not gonna. I mean, you have to wait for them to finish in the transfer market before you go into the transfer market. The transfer market could become anything because the financial capability within the rules even will be will be out of this world, and they'll continue expanding their income and earnings. So it's a dangerous road that I'm seeing happen, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all, because people may hate Chelsea. Oh, you did this, you did that financially, but they fail to recognize that Chelsea had a journey. We were winning things gradually, and we have never been not winning things. Yes, we had a big gap between. Actually, it was just the 1980s was a decade that we didn't win anything. Every other decade since the 1950s, we've won something. So we built up. By the time Roman came to Chelsea, there was a trophy cabinet. It wasn't like your Man Cities and Newcastle situation. There was a trophy cabinet, albeit almost modest, but it was still with some serious trophies. And we built on that and got bigger. I just think it would be a shame if they put these FFP rules or financial rules such that they cripple everybody else and empower those that are already empowered. Sorry, I just had to get that in there.
All right, and thank you for that. I think that's something we'll find time to talk about. We have quite a lot lined up to talk about today. So we have the lineup, we have a bit of news to talk about. So yeah, we'll find time. It's important, but we'll find time for it. Happy Hump Day, Blues. Happy Hump Day to you too, Mykhailo. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining the show. It's Kami, one of the captains of the house. Morning, people. Want to congratulate LeBron James on becoming the NBA all-time leading scorer. Wow, you had to do that. Okay, no worries. I've read it for you. What Chelsea needs now is a goal-scoring machine, which Victor Osimhen has all the qualities they are looking for. We're talking about Andrey Santos right now. Please, let's keep the comments aligned so I don't want to exhaust before we get to the half of the show. I'm not exhausted, so to speak. Big up, coach. Big up, panel. Big up, a chat. Big up, all. Big up to you too, Mykhailo. Thank you so much for finding time to join the show. I know you're a very, very busy man. Have rewatched the Fulham game. We look blunt up front. Okay, good comment. City will get away with a wrist slap, in my humble opinion. FIFA, UEFA, and FA all need the money in the game, whether they like it or not. A lot of people are saying they're going to get away with it, but let's follow the situation and see what happens. I'm going to come to you. You want to talk about Andrey Santos, the club wanting him to be part of the first team. Smash the like button, says Mykhailo. I'll get to you in a bit. This is also prayers to the family of those affected by the Turkey-Syria earthquakes. Yes, prayers to them. It's never easy, such situation. It's horrible. If you see some of the clips out there showing houses crumbling and all that with people under them. With one that broke my heart was one little girl. Again, she's also in danger, but had her hand over her little brother, trying to protect him. But the good thing is that that's the picture showed she's still alive. But for some I don't know how that is even possible if we see the situation. But it breaks the heart to see such pictures come from a country. Help Turkey. Again, if there's any way, I don't have any link to say how you can support them. I'm sure you can find quite a lot of them online and to support them. Yes, if you know how you can support, please do. That goes a long way. A lot of families are suffering there. Lots of families homeless now after that horrific earthquake. Chelsea should be considered on FFP based on what we went through. I think the club are working that. Bless up, Courtney. Bless up to you too. Big up, Francis Winters. Big up to you too. Bally should keep his eyes on City situation if they get relegated. Sign Pep and Haaland, then Man United, and buy their fans. Yeah, it sounds easy, but that's really, that's truly, you can say, kicking somebody when they're down. As much as I know the players will be available for purchase, but there's a way you do it and you're practically laughing at them. We may find ourselves in such a situation, God forbid, but I don't think we will find ourselves in such a situation because, as I've said, I'm sure the owners have capable hands behind the scenes, crunching the numbers and letting them know you should do this, don't do this, don't spend beyond this. Yes, prayers for all impacted by the earthquake. It's important. FFP, a thing totally needed to be reviewing because it seems some big teams are empowered while others are struggling. This, like I said, this is a topic for another day. If we get into it, there's no coming out from it. Roger, quickly, your thoughts on the club wanting to keep Andrey Santos will be quite loaded in that area. Then, if he does well, maybe the decision is to bring him in because he's capable of fulfilling the role I believe we're looking for Casado for. Again, you could say a DM or a defensive-minded player who can also bump forward, again, create chances, score goals, and all that. Your thoughts?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hello to you too.
Bobby, I was just merely paraphrasing and quoting Coach because I was on the show last night where he types, "I don't like Roger, Roger out," hashtag. So it was paraphrasing.
I knew you were going to try to defend yourself. What you did wasn't good.
No. Coach is pure.
Yeah, I was listening to you guys last night on the
Dan show.
On the Chelsea Dan.
Yeah. So it was
the top geezer. But he has no limit to the show.
No.
When I was there the last time, I actually fell asleep. It went on for so long.
Yeah, but it's okay. Mitchy Boy was there, and he's a wonderful person. It was a good show. But you know what? I'm trying to think how much in actuality did we buy Andrey Santos for? I'm trying
around 12 point something million.
Yeah. It's actually I have it listed
the numbers are everywhere, for being honest.
Yeah, I have it listed as 18 million according to Sky Sports, because our winter window was 322.6 million. But regardless, it's pittance compared to what the average acquisition has been over the last two transfer windows. You know, he's a man playing amongst boys in this under-20s. You can tell physically he's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's clinical. I mean, 6 goals out of 6 games. I mean, that is basically what dreams are made of. This is fairy tale news. It's wonderful. He's a prototypical Brazilian superstar in the making, it seems. I think you're right. Hopefully, we can obviously successfully acquire a work permit for him, and if so, this means that do we have a stacked midfield? Perhaps, when you look, but you know, he's going to be, well, he's young. I shouldn't say he's going to be young. He is young, and I think he can only learn from the players and coaches around him. Does he go out on loan? Perhaps. I hope not. I really, I can't stress that enough. I believe if he should be good enough to at least be a rotational player for Chelsea. It seems, but that could be premature of me to say that because we haven't seen him in a Blues shirt. I think it can only be a positive that he does indeed join us. You're right, chaps. Our future, and this is not being bombastic at all, but our future looks ever so bright.
You got your glasses yet?
Yeah, exactly. My Vornays, my Maui Jims, baby. But no, it's a wonderful problem to have, and I used it in that context. Problem. That's all I wanted to say. I think listen. This is every manager's dream to have quality players like this.
Yeah,
you know, simple.
Yeah, IBZ, big up, bro. Your thoughts again on the club wanting to keep Andrey Santos? Yeah, I agree. It's important. Let me do a tap-in before you even start talking. Let's assess him at least till the end of the season. If there's need to send him out on loan, let's do that. So,
Coach, I don't mean to interrupt. I usually just want to stay quiet, but I have to add this, if I may, please. One very, very, very important signature that we need to establish this way forward is Thiago Silva. I know it's in good advanced progress, but I would definitely celebrate when that happens because he's going to be so important for us in terms of what he'll bring to the young players.
Can you imagine if we didn't have him?
I don't want to imagine it, to be honest.
So this season alone, he's been quintessentially our best player for the last year and a half, regardless of
Yeah,
position.
that's the truth.
On
Go
and
ahead,
off the field.
IBZ.
Sorry, IBZ.
No, you're
No.
fine. No, you know what? You cut him off all the time. If I was, why wouldn't he be mad? IBC, go ahead.
Mhm.
Thanks.
How you doing?
Hello.
Fine. Thank
Yeah,
you. How
man.
about you?
I do. I'm just getting on with the work. Andrey Santos, he said. Did you say Andrey Santos?
Yep.
Yeah, Andrey
Yeah,
Santos.
man.
Yeah, the club wants to keep him. But yeah, and again, his exploits in the under 20 South American under 20 competition will go a long way in securing a work permit for him, because they could argue he counts as an exceptional talent because he dominated the competition. Go ahead.
Oh, I wouldn't. No, I don't. I don't think under 20 competition warrants a work permit. I think he would need European experience. I don't want to talk about him
So you don't think
for
that will
another.
help will help him get a
No,
work permit?
no. I think if he goes out on loan for a season, say in Portugal or anywhere in Europe, yeah, he gets a work permit. Because obviously he's qualified on that. But we just signed him from Brazil, innit? So I don't see him getting a work
Oscar
permit.
played, the most Oscar played before he joined us was under the Olympic is usually under 23.
But that was under different. We're talking about different immigration rules. Then this is before Brexit when Oscar signed. This is after Brexit.
This is
The idea of
post-Brexit,
signing
yeah.
players, the idea of signing players from South American clubs that they're under the age of 18 and then having them on your books for a certain, it's obsolete. It's not there anymore. Which I don't. I mean,
Aren't the work permit rules more relaxed now than they were
yeah.
in
Well,
Europe?
they say if you have if you played an amount. Now the new work permit rules is now the amount of points you accumulate by playing for your national team. Now, if Andrey Santos had played for Brazil, been this prodigy, we wouldn't have this problem. But he ain't made a cap for Brazil yet, so there's no points he's accumulated for him to acquire enough points to get a visa. So what does he need to do? He needs to play in Europe, price trade, so that he can gain that visa. It's just almost like the route that people take from coming into the UK. Players will come from, I don't know, Africa or South America, and they'll head into Portugal or head into Norway. Look at Fofana. Fofana, if you ask me, Datro Fofana would have made it to Chelsea if he had not gone through the Norwegian route. Now, if you ask me, could Datro Fofana come from his hometown straight to Chelsea? No, he would have acquired a work permit. He would have obviously needed to go through Europe, then enter through here. So this is obviously the situation with Andrey Santos. I'm not worried about it. I believe he will make it through to the first team. He will be to the very top. But with him, he needs a good 3 years, a good 2, 3 years, 4 years before I say he's ready for Chelsea mainstayer. That's my opinion. But people might fast track him ASAP. And when you fast track him and he does a mistake, we should have brought this kid. Why did we bring this kid? So
You're always going to get people like that, though.
yeah. So, but what for the development of the kid, I would say, finish your tournament, because when's the tournament finishing? After the tournament, it's not like he's going to be playing.
Is it even finished? I'm just paying attention to the games without paying attention
You feel me?
where they are right
Exactly.
now. But go ahead. I'm not
Exactly.
sure.
So when the tournament finishes, where's he playing? Is he still playing for Brazil? No, he's back at Cobham. Where's he playing? He's got to be playing under 21 football. Now, if you're trying to perpetuate an argument that this guy is supposed to be in the first team or Chelsea really wants him, and the situation of him going out on loan should have been done in January, as soon as he signed. But it's not been the case. So it may be a situation where they will assess it in the summer. I don't see him playing first team role from next season. I see him going out on loan, killing it, and then they reassess it from there. Him
All
and
right,
Saicedo
people.
or whatever.
Yeah, thank you very much. People, here's what I'm going to do. Again, there's a saying in my place that, again, when a dead body, again, the corpse of a stranger is carried, to some people, it's just a dog. So please, I urge us all, just observe a minute of silence. If you're typing, stop typing. Just in 1 minute, we'll be back again. Again, with respect to those that have lost their lives in Turkey and also Syria, some parts of Syria where, again, lots of people have lost. It's in the thousands now. So again, let's kindly, please, give them a minute of silence. If you're typing, stop typing. And I'm going to go to this picture. We'll come back to continue the show in a minute. Yes, thank you so much, people. Thank you so much for obliging. That's very kind of you. We move on with the show. Hopefully, again, they'd be able to help those that are still trapped. Again, hopefully the number of those that have passed away from the situation doesn't increase. Thank you so much for obliging. That means a lot to me. Let's go into this one, Bobby. I'll start you with this one, but let me try and catch up with what we have in the chat first. Not this one in particular. I'll come back to it. Let me leave this picture on until I catch up with the chat. I hope it's not that too long. If not, I'll scroll to the very bottom in a bit. Where did I stop, actually? I took it up. I've read that one from Mykhailo. What Chelsea needs now. And this one, City will get away. I think I've read that one. Smash the like button, people. We're at 45 likes. Let's get it to, again, 100 likes as soon as possible. Also, prayers. Yep, thank you so much for bringing that up. That's important. And I think I've gone beyond all this. Bally should keep his eyes on these guys. I think I've read that one too. Sorry, my screen is frozen a bit. Yep, I've read that one. Let me see. And Mikhail says, yes, our prayers to those again. Oh my goodness, what is happening to my screen? This is a new screen. Is it because I took time to go get picture from my from Dreamstime? If you can hear me, Bobby, you can go ahead, start talking about your thoughts on the possibility of Thiago Silva extending. Okay, there you go. I think I'm free now. Yes, prayers are for all impacted by the earthquake. I've read that one. FFP rules, I've read that one. This one too. And this says again, for if you're on iOS, read the instructions there. You click on that icon on the right-hand side of at the bottom of your screen. It will pop up and shows a lot of other icons. Choose the one you like. As you click on it, it will float on the screen. If that, again, hopefully you understand how I explained it, that the Santos has a work permit problem. He has to prove that he's been, again, at the club for 2 years. That's a different argument altogether, to be able to get a work permit. Otherwise, his performance at the Under-20 World Cup should have a say. Okay, I didn't know that was the case. Thoughts on Zakaria still? For me, we've talked about this yesterday, Mikhail. If he stays fit, fine. But if it's going to be a case of where he plays just 2 games and then he gets injured, get one knock or the other, and he had fitness issues when he arrived, so it's difficult to say what the club are going to do. If he stays fit, I say keep him. He comes on a cheap too, like for how much? Around 28 million pounds or so. I think at most 30. EPL would change its taste all of a sudden if money creeps. Maybe we're going to ruin the league. Let's see what happens again. Zakaria is another Kante injury prone, but I'd like him to stay. The whole thing again comes down to whether he stays fit or not. Naughty Eugene, hello to you too. I hope you're doing well. Zakaria and never be Kante. They're different, 2 different type of players. There's something that Zakaria does better than Kante. There's something that Kante does better than Zakaria. Kante has been out for more than 6 months now. Is that really the case? Yeah, after the surgery, he went under the knife. He's scoring to get that work permit. Okay, let's see. I think football is a journey, but money is spoiling it. Let's keep it in line, please. It can be exhausting to be switching between topics, but I don't blame you. I think you're responding to when Bobby had to speak his mind and how he feels about the whole financial situation. Man City are waiting to be relegated by FFP rules. Like Mikhail says, I don't think that happens. Better to be patient and dominate in future than put new coach now for short term. Yeah, good argument there. What do you have to say about Nkunku and Felix comments about their position on the pitch? It seems both of them are playing the same position. No, I know. Again, I think what did he say? Felix said something about being preferring playing as a second striker. Correct me if I'm wrong. Nkunku, to me, he's so equipped to be played as a number 9. He's set if as a second striker and in a fluid approach where he gets to drop deep or rotate and participate in the play. With a fluid approach, you can deploy any of them anywhere. If, in fact, they're able to, again, apply themselves very well. Again, if, in fact, it turns out it's because the last time I thought it was going to be a fluid approach, it was anything but fluid. That's against form. We can have both, again, House Rodrigo goes on the bench for Madrid, who, with Chelsea, again, depth is important. I'm very happy with the way our transfer business is done. With FFP rules, Man City has just blown their spending out of Mars. They will be playing. I don't think that happens. And you've heard Mikhail say that before. Let me see how much I can get. Sorry to the panelists. Good morning. Thiago Silva should have won a Player of the Year last year. He deserved it. And like I said, he's the type of player, even if you go to him, he'd say give it to a younger player, just for the sake of motivating the younger player. That is not correct. Again, there is a special category for special talent for permit. Thank you so much for confirming that. Again, I think in order for Chelsea to get the best out of Enzo, our fullbacks, we need a DM like Casemiro or Palfinha to just sit in front of our 4-3. Only other option is keep Kante fit. Kante drink water days. Yeah, I remember that. But here's the thing. Let's start talking about Palfinha, because he played against us. Let's watch him even more. I'm sure a lot of us haven't even watched him that much. But because he played against us and did so well, a lot of people are now calling for the club to go get him. Kante is Luka Modric, Iniesta, Xavi, Modric player who brings a trophy. So be patient with Potter. Give some time. In terms of your comment regarding Kante, I've always said that, again, he falls into that category of talent where you'd always find a way to accommodate them, given their mentality, given their unique ability. Kante is that sort of player that can still play way into his 30s, but you have to find a way to accommodate him, do less running, again, play in a more reserved, conserved approach, not do a lot of running. But I've always, whenever I talk about that, I say, okay, well, can't it still be that effective without him doing a lot of running? Because predominantly his running is one of the things that define, predominant, again, attribute that define his playing ability, if that makes sense. We move on from that. The competition ends next week. Okay, prayers to rescue, for the rescue of those that are still trapped. Thank you so much for saying that, Mika. It's really that story I told you guys. You people, you really did break my heart, really. If people can afford it, again, please donate some money to, again, can you add the link there? You're a mod, so that they can go there to, is it Medicine Center Frontiers? And supplies to all areas of the world suffering from natural disasters. So, Liam Lynn, just share the link. You're a mod there. And actually, you're a manager mod, so you're not a basic mod. We need Santos. We do need him. I agree. Chelsea need a Class A manager. Tell me what is this Chelsea players are learning from Potter. We need a world-class manager. Again, Chifudo, Igwe, I can call you whatever you want. Just to, again, here's the thing. Udo, here's what I want you to do. Even if you don't like Potter, I'm not Potter's biggest fan. I have a lot of questions over him. But if you're judging him, factor into again, his situation, the fact, our current situation, the fact that we have a village of injured players, plus lots of changes. When you change quite, again, up to 5 players in a team, usually, it doesn't click like this. You can pay attention to that. Mykhailo was given a special, he made it to the final of a global tournament. Only, again, he actually was the second best player. Messi was the best player in that particular competition, if that makes sense to you.
Was it a senior tournament, coach?
It wasn't a senior tournament, but it's still a junior, but it was global. But in this case, you're talking about, so you could say, if we're talking about, you could say the ranking of the competition, that one was global. And I think the rules also have changed. But if we're going to look at...
Mykhailo was playing in Norway. Norway's
he was also playing in Norway, Lyn Oslo.
So
right?
that would have made sense. If he came from Nigeria, if he came straight from Nigeria, like Kelechi Iheanacho, Manchester City brought him straight from Tayo Academy.
And he joined the academy,
case. It's a different case. Even Kelechi couldn't even play like that first time. He had to wait for his work permit. Mm-hmm. You know, it's different. But because the case is, he's straight from Europe. So Lyn
Oslo, to be specific, right? It was Lyn Oslo. Yeah.
Literally, that's not even a biggie. That's not, and we're talking about like immigration laws in 2006. Come on. That's Labour government. Like, you know, different period, man.
Yeah, so that may have changed again. I hope Bowley won't throw out all our senior players. He should renew Kante and Thiago Silva contract. Thiago Silva, we'll talk about that in a bit. The guy Man City bought from Argentina, 20 years was given a permit. He was on the bench for the last match. He also played in under 20
points. He has accumulated points for Argentina. That's why he can sign. What are we
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, so always pay attention very well to the rules. If our players need to learn something, we have a problem. I'm not sure where you're coming from. Let Peter, is it Porter, be given only this year? I'm guessing you meant. I'm guessing you mean Porter. What about Kennedy to Chelsea? Permit granted. Was he?
And what happened to him?
No, I think he started with the academy.
No. We
Yeah,
bought
plus
Kennedy
lots of
and we
loans
loaned him
too.
out.
Yeah.
Loaned him out. Based off work permit and ability. Bro, it's not given.
It's not actually that straightforward. Let's talk about this one, IBZ. I'm going to start you with this one here and get your thoughts. I think it's very important, like Bobby said. Sorry, in a bit, I think it's reloading because I switched between Twitter accounts. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. To me, there's nothing as important as this one, not just for Andrey Santos settling in quickly, but because of his impact on on the team as a whole. He's such an influence that whenever he's not playing, you can see that something is really missing. He's able to influence the game from the defensive line. That's not surprising given his pedigree. IBC, your thoughts on that one? I think that's the last topic we'll talk about. Then we're going to finishing up with the lineup. Then we can discuss other topics if we have more time left.
Yeah, man. I have nothing to say on this matter. Yeah, big up. I'm happy for it. He's a mentor, leader, role model. So yeah, keeping players like that in the club. I don't believe it's just a playing capacity. I see him outside coaching, or I think he's settled here in London. I think him and his family are settled here in London. So yeah, I see him staying for the long term. And happy days ahead. I see him getting his coaching badges with Chelsea. I just see him staying. So this is positive news for everyone.
Yeah, it is good news. Again, his influence, his pedigree. Again, he's won nearly everything there is to win. You could say except the World Cup. And if he speaks, the dressing room listens. It's as simple as that. Plus, his influence, his character as an individual, an exemplary professional, also never complains. So Roger, your thoughts, and again, how important is it that we keep him?
Yeah, I think for our future, with the influence on the younger players, I think he's a world-class gentleman also. And you're right, you summed it up with one word: pedigree. It's simple as that. It's as I said initially, I didn't think it was necessary for us to even go after a 36-year-old, no matter how good he was, because I had incorrectly assumed that his career was over. I thought he'd be a very small bit-time player. Boy, was I incorrect, because realistically, I can't imagine where we would be without him. I don't think we would have made top 4 last year. And this year, I think we can safely assume we would have lost substantially more games or conceded at least multiple more goals. It actually is quite disturbing to even contemplate that, to be honest with you, especially when you consider how many injuries we've had. And he has, for all intents and purposes, been quite healthy, especially when you consider his age.
Yeah, he stays fit. He hardly gets injured.
Because he's the consummate professional. He knows how to look after his body. And yes, you do need luck. You need good fortune, to have an elongated career and be, for all intents and purposes, injury-free. And listen, I think it's an honor for our club to even have someone of his ilk.
Some people say, what do you think about this, Roger? Some people say we got him a bit late. No, we got him at the best time of his career, because it just seems as if, again, as he ages, he becomes even better.
He's like fine wine, isn't he? But selfishly,
he ages like fine wine, yeah.
Selfishly, I wish we had him since he was 18. But hey, it's,
But the truth remains, he wasn't this good then.
No, he
would
wasn't.
have kept him if he was.
That's probably true. That's I'm just hypothetically, I'm saying, I'm being facetious here.
No.
But listen, he's a great addition to our team, and he's not a bit-time player. He's probably one of the first people on the team sheet.
I don't
We're
like to rely
lucky.
on
We're
him.
very, very fortunate to have him.
No, we're not going to rely on him this time. Go ahead, Roger, with what you're saying.
No, I'm just saying that no, we can't rely on him because we need to seriously manage his minutes. I mean, that cannot be stressed enough. Otherwise, it'd be pointless. But post-playing career, I do believe that he's going to be a huge asset for us. I think he will get his coaching badges. I think Potter would welcome him, or any other manager would welcome him in the squad. And I think he'd be a good, shall we say, team ambassador and an actual technical coach. You know, because that's not an easy position. And so he can impart a tremendous amount of knowledge based on all formations. I think he would be a huge asset on Cobham training pitch. I could even see him eventually taking over, you know, the under-21 teams, etc. I can see him excelling. I really can. So long may it continue.
Yeah, I think he will make an excellent manager too. I hope we keep him even beyond his playing career, maybe as part of the coaching staff. I know Potter would love that.
Oh yeah,
because,
totally agree. Totally cannot stress that. I think he has a very good rapport with everyone in this organization. So he's probably one of the very few people that is liked by literally everyone.
Yeah. I remember at Madrid by Ronaldo, Benzema, Xavi, Alonso, Kaká in same transfer window and still struggled a couple of years until win. I think you're part of Roger's team. You're part of the Porter team, but I get it. A good argument there. Again, patience is important. And here's the link. Liam Lynn provides the link, msf.org/Turkey. If you can kindly do, if you can, if you're capable of doing that, support Turkey. Lots of family suffering. I know you could say that it's a rich country, but lots of poor families won't even get a chance, need more than just what the government can offer them as for helping them.
Isn't that Doctors Without Borders, the translation, I believe?
I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I think it's Doctors Without Borders. It's excellent.
Okay. Oh, is that what they are? I've always had their English name. I haven't even visited their website one time.
It's. I think it's the English translation of Mons Sans Frontières or words to that effect.
Okay. All right. Again, so go out again. Support them if you're capable. It does go a long way. Again, linkable for anyone that would like to donate to this worthy cause. To everyone that's been that's affected. That was affected by the earthquake. It's not easy. Lives of lost families lost their homes and probably some businesses and all that. Yes, people, keep liking the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're at 55 likes. Let's try to get it to 100 as soon as possible. Fahim Abdurrahman says again, have any English manager won 25 years major trophy, UEFA or Premier League? Again, it tells you something. It doesn't. Here's the thing.
But we're British, so we have Scottish, we have Welsh, we have.
Yeah,
so you have the United States of America, we have the United Kingdom. We're still British.
Yeah, exactly. So we shouldn't even be going to that argument. It doesn't change anything.
Have anything to do with it?
Yeah, we should stop doing that. I think, if anything, how do I phrase it? I think
it's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate, really, to always bring nationality into such a conversation. That doesn't mean you should speak your mind, but avoid mentioning nationality. I get it. It's history, and some people, but it could come across as insulting to some people. Thiago has already started his Brazilian coaching badge license course. He's a smart man, ahead of time, But his thing, I want him to, if we can offer him a coach in the academy, it will be a great strategy. In the sense, let him start there. In the sense that he can always help us, push talent in the Brazilian talent market. I don't know if that makes sense, Roger.
Oh yeah,
Again, give him coaching in one of the academy teams. I think he'd take it. Just pay him well. He'd take it knowing there's a chance he progresses from there to the first team if he does well. They will also supply Syria. Okay, thank you so much for clarifying that, because some people will go, okay, you have Turkey there, you don't have Syria. I didn't say that Potter is not good. I understand, or good for Chelsea. But it's not, it's not moments. It wouldn't make any sort of sense to fire him right now. Give him at least to the end of the season. And let's just again let's just save our breath. It's because our argument, whether you hate him, how many times you type Potter out, doesn't make any difference. Honestly, again, at least that's my opinion. I am sure Silva will coach at Chelsea in the future because the legacy he's leaving or he's building, if I don't know what the latter may be, means he commands so much respect that man, if he tomorrow decide to hire him as a manager, the whole fan base will support him really.
And
But
he's
he needs
all, coach. He knows all the formations. He's well versed.
Yeah.
He probably has a very strong tactical acumen.
Yeah,
I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. When you play that long under this many great coaches, internationally and domestically.
Yeah, he should keep him. Maybe one of my most viewed the first videos were about Thiago Silva. My argument that why the club should keep him.
Really?
5 reasons. Yeah, 5 reasons why they should keep him. He got 4,000 plus. That's the highest I had at that time, and I practically predicted he'd help us win Champions League. Him and Thomas Tuchel. But that's by the way, Chelsea need to pay off Potter now because Man City coach will be available very soon. You are this. What's that movie? Dream in the Dream. What's that movie called? You're practically having a dream inside a dream.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Adino, if that makes any sense. His struggle if he does. Pep, like you have to get usually before he joins the team, you prepare a team. Yeah, and I don't think I first. If you can hear me, just go ahead until I come back again. Can you hear me, Roger?
Yes, but you've frozen a couple of times.
Okay, if you can, hopefully, let me keep talking. But I cannot highlight the next comment. That's where the issue lies. Yeah,
I see.
Yeah, go, Bobby. You can come in and talk about Thiago Silva. I'll round off whenever again my screen isn't frozen. If you're there, go ahead. Even though I'm on frozen now, but go ahead. I'll talk about the importance of keeping Thiago Silva. Is he there? Okay.
I'm muting probably.
Okay, when he comes back, I'll let him come in. And one of the captains of the house, it's Kami, says it could, again, we could do with Thiago Silva what my team Rangers did with Jermaine Defoe and make him a player coach. I didn't know Jermaine Defoe, what Rangers? I didn't know he was a player coach at Rangers, but what a player, what a finisher he was on his day. Big up everyone, Teboho. Nice to see you, my brother, my real brother from, again, Madiba land. Much love to you, brother. Hit the like button, people, and subscribe to the channel. Yes, keep doing that, my people. How are you? Again, Lane, just saying hello. Again, Inception. Yeah, that was the movie I was looking for. That movie is I watched it. I have to be honest, just quickly. I didn't really like it, but it's that sort of movie when your friends come and say, man, have you watched Inception? You have to just say, oh, yeah, it was so cool. But really, to even understand what's going on in the movie, you have to watch it multiple times. Another Here We Go soon. In what, what area, let us know. But that's, by the way, I don't know. Bobby, are you there or should we move on to the lineup? I want to hear that. I want to know if you're there. Congrats to everyone. Okay. You go ahead. Thiago Silva, the importance of keeping him, and why do you think the club is really working hard to keep him?
Maturity, experience, lesson learning, reassurance, example. These are all the things he can bring to the dressing room. He's not going to go around, coaching the players one-to-one every day, but that interaction is very, very important to the likes of Enzo, who is still a very young man and he's still learning his trade, to the likes of whoever, you name it in that Chelsea squad, both new and old. Thiago Silva is massive to them. Even Reece James picks up from him. So having that presence is important. I remember, people often forget this, and I always say this to our fan base when I have the opportunity. When we won the Premier League in 2015, I personally believe the reason we did that was that we brought back Didier Drogba. No, it has never really been stated the huge impact and influence he was in the dressing room. And it was no coincidence that he came back for one more swan song and picked up the Premier League. You need these players. You need these big characters that show love for the club and can help drive the rest of the team, in fact, not to say the younger players.
Yeah, a solid argument. And it was a masterclass by Mourinho. I know he didn't score that many goals, but a lot of people don't. Then again, if you weren't paying attention, you would not understand his impact. It's one of the reasons why we won that again, the Premier League that season. He's won it. He's done. If he speaks, all the younger players. Oscar, again, was it who were the again? We had Oscar then, right? Didn't we? We had some young. Let me just say, we had a lot of young players in the team
Yeah,
at
we
that
had
point.
young players for sure.
Yeah.
Hazard was there, I believe. He
Yeah.
had just started. There was Oscar. Dave himself wasn't very old in those days.
Yeah.
Who else was there? I can't remember now. But definitely those players would they needed it. And the season before we sort of faltered. But as soon as this guy came back, I'm not saying it's the only reason we won it, but I think it was a massive reason. I remember the away game we played. Who was it that we played? I think it was either somebody like West Brom, who are always giving us difficulties. And it was on a typical cold, rainy November midweek game for the league.
Mm-hmm.
And we were behind until Drogba came on. Completely changed the game. So, although Thiago is a defender, I would love to see, and I dream of seeing next season, him playing less, but playing that Drogba role from the back every now and then when it really gets tough, complicated, or where it just requires that know-how. He comes on and brings it to the team in defense.
Yeah. Again, a Mason Mount 15 years contract. Here we go. You to Boho don't start. I had to watch again twice. He's talking about Inception. Yeah, that was the movie I was looking for. Yeah, one of your friends asked you, have you watched it? You just pretend you loved it. You understood everything. But it was one heck of a movie. Silva has
That's the
three more.
stupidest movie I've ever seen. Why watch a film
really.
where you have to practically go to therapy and psychology to understand what you've just seen? I mean, what is that?
It was one heck of a movie. Yeah, but again,
I
Silva
don't
has
get it
three.
till today.
Yeah, I didn't get it again. But again, your friend said, "Did you watch it?" Say, yeah. Wow, what a movie! But it was absolute nonsense, really. Silva has 3 more years in him. Guys, again, did you watch Enzo pulling Mitrovic? I didn't see that. If you have the link, share it to me, and I'd like the audience to see that. I love Enzo Fernandez, man. This young, he's young, but he's a fighter. Yeah. You can't muscle him off the ball that easily, except if you want to foul intentionally. You cannot bully him. The thing how people again are excited about Enzo means that we didn't have too much world-class players in the past. We had, but we haven't signed for a while now. Understanding the game like Silva does, it keeps him from being injured, as well as work smart. Yeah, he doesn't work hard, he works smarter. He doesn't work harder, he works smarter. He reads the game quite well, doesn't need too much running. His game is not about running, it's about his intelligence, his footballing intelligence, his technical ability. Yeah, you can be the fastest player on earth, but you will not get the chance to race against him, let alone outpace him, because he stops you again on your tracks before you even get a chance to race against him. Yep, again, Thomas Bays, I hope you're well. Emmanuel Mbangezi, again, okay. Again, please, again, stop using more than 3 emojis. If you do, Nightbot will can time you out. If that makes sense. Nothing. Again, it's been 6 years since. But yep, that's the truth. All I want to show to start next game. he may well start. But let's see. It depends on how the manager sees the game. If he sees that Cucurella has done enough to keep his place, he keep him. But let's see what he does. But there's a chance Chilwell starts. Taiwo, okay, just having a conversation here. If we will win any major trophies in 3 years, again, it will cost. I will give 200 for the channel. A screenshot this. Wow, that's some statement there. Okay, let's see what happens. Silva will not coach again, but he can become another assistant like Arteta did before he comes into the coaching. It's again the road to becoming a recognized manager is different for everyone. Pep started from Barcelona B team and boom to the first team. Who else? Again, what other example should I use here? Who? I don't know. What's the former PSG coach that now coaches Lyon? Did he start from the B team, or some people Zidane from the B team? Yeah, you don't have to be assistant to anybody. If you get the B team and show you're capable of you're capable of doing it in the first team, you get a chance. A Tenet is much worse. Very confusing. But no, I think tennis is actually better. It's more, you can understand tennis than a dream in a dream, sequences of dream in a dream. Ramirez, Oscar, and more average good players. Let's see. Good morning, my Chelsea family. Chadwick Banks, my Jamaican brother. Wagwan, bro. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much. We are winning the Champions League. Never say never. We're still there. Just again, but let's start by beating Borussia Dortmund. If we beat them, believe me, by the time we get to play our next game, you can say we have a lot of players ready to participate. So let's get back to work right now. Here's what we have. And this is what we did yesterday already. We had Kepa Mendy as again rotating, or in goalkeeper, you could say second choice. Chilwell starting in the left back position, Cucurella rotational, Badiashile starting. Unless again Colwell rotational, because we believe he comes back next season. Fofana, and I still say this, that is if we don't try to say, okay, you keep him and give us Casado. If they do that, like I said, the fans will revolt. Fofana starting here. It wasn't Chalobah. We chose Thiago Silva here, didn't we? Yeah, we chose Thiago Silva as a rotational here, didn't we? That what we did yesterday, Roger?
I can't recall, but I know I would. No disrespect to Chalobah, but I think all three are going to see significant playing time, to be honest. So
yeah, but I think we chose Silva there because he still have he starts, but maybe not many games. And yeah, we did James Gusto and we did Enzo and Kovacic, right?
Yeah.
Here's where we were again. But the argument from Declan was a different thing altogether. His argument was against me saying Kante will be the more disciplined, while Enzo goes forward to do, again, will have the independence to do even more as he likes to contribute offensively. And again, my argument was that Kante, he's not that young anymore, probably would do him a lot of good to be the more disciplined of the two, if that makes any sort of sense. So where we got stuck, we couldn't agree on who becomes the rotational player for Kante here.
I think Zakaria, but that's an assumption based on if he stays fit. So
and we're not sure if we're keeping him.
Yeah, based on that assumption. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So in his absence, what can we do?
Well, we've got Gallagher. There's Gallagher or Zakaria. I mean, I have to say that Zakaria is the more prototypical defensive player. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think, and I agree with Bobby, I think Gallagher has that potential. He has.
But can you trust him now to say he's the one to be the rotational player with Kante?
Well, he is currently right now, isn't he?
Yeah, given that's again what we have. But what's talking by next season? Do you think he has a chance there?
I do, if he's given the opportunity to excel.
Okay, but just remember, I've always told you, by next season we'll find out if that's where he get it again enough chance to continue developing.
And by then we know whether Zakaria is able to stay fit also. And I think if he is, I think Zakaria, in all likelihood, would be the primary rotational player. I think that's a safe assumption. Wouldn't you agree, Bobby?
Let's see again. Let me see.
Yeah,
Get the,
yeah, I do. Yeah. I do have concerns about Zakaria, to be honest. I really do. I don't
Medically,
like seeing a player pull up for nothing. I mean,
yeah.
it's a red flag for me.
It was a
At least
non-impact
Kante's,
injury. Yeah.
yeah, Kante's. You can understand why it's happening. We've seen his journey, but Zakaria's a young guy. He's not like young, but he's young. He's 26. Is it 27?
Yeah, I
So
think
he
he's 26.
shouldn't be doing that at all. That's a worry.
He's in his prime. He's 26 and 2 months. Yeah.
yeah. His again, you could say his injury record hasn't helped, and it hasn't. Again, it looks like he joined us and it got worse. He had fitness issue. He came back, got injured, recovered again, got injured again. So, do you think the club would trust him to say, okay, let's pay the money and keep him? It's something if he's going to come like 10, 12 million pounds, and then they could say, okay, it's that cheap that we can manage him.
Sure.
But for anything close to 30 million, even 25 million is still a lot to put for a player you're not guaranteed to always have available to start. I think maybe we'll ask those in the chat in a bit. So we'll still leave that one. We have serious, again, let me catch up on what we have. Let's see the thoughts, again, the reasoning of those in the chat. From Club, okay, let's see. What else do we have here? Again, what is the expectation for Hall? Confused on him. Again, I'd hate for him to get lost in the shuffle. Yeah, what a way to phrase it. He's an excellent player and actually has shown. Some people think he should be. No, he's not a defender. He's actually a midfielder. But the way Potter has used him, he's used him in the wing-back position in the back three. And by the way, once we're done with it, we'll do a version that's going to be the back three version. My screen, again, giving me problems again. We're going to do a version, but hopefully you can still hear me. We're going to do a back three version where we have a wing-back. Potter has shown that if he's using the wing-back approach, he likes to use Lewis Hall, where his primary responsibility is to overload the midfield and be in the attacking area. Roger, what do you think about this comment regarding Lewis Hall?
No, I think that's astute. He very well could be lost in the mix-up. I mean, listen, he's 18, I believe. He's young as they come, and he's nowhere even close to reaching his potential. So I think he's a squad / rotational player. So because he can play multiple positions, he can play midfield, he can play left back. So
no, not really. He don't. He can't, what I explained, he's not a defender. Even though he's done relatively, he starts. If you paid attention to how,
not traditionally, but he has been in this squad.
He starts in the wing back position, which again in that, and if you see how he applies himself, yeah. No, you said that. I didn't. Not a tapping for me at all. Here's my argument here regarding that. The application,
yeah.
When if you've watched him play on the ground, Potter, it looks like his primary responsibility is to overload the midfield and the attacking area. Whenever he in the back three, you hardly see him. We defend as a unit, so in most cases you see him back defending. But usually when Hall is on the pitch for us, his primary he plays more in the second. He drifts to the center area to help overload the midfield, and sometimes you see him here. So he's nowhere near being a defender. It's a risk, really. That will cost a lot of. Yeah, and that's why you've seen him start with Cucurella on the pitch. When Cucurella primarily in the left center back position. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Again, that's what I'm saying. Given the acquisition of Enzo Kovacic still available at the club and all the names that's played here, where does his future lie in this team?
Well, it's going to be gradual, isn't it? So he's going to. I hope he does make the squad for next year, but there's a strong possibility he's loaned out. But let's see. I think he's good enough, and with a year under his belt, I think he's good enough to actually be on the roster, as they say in the States. I think he adds good depth because, God forbid, if we sustain another round of injuries. But don't forget, he'll be utilised also in cup games, assuming we don't play City in the first two rounds again. So he'll get greater exposure. and he'll develop as such. And he probably does require a year on loan, hopefully to a
It's a
Premier
risk,
League
really.
team. Well, it's because of his age.
Let me tell you why it's a risk. Let me find out again his
What is
current
the risk?
contract.
What is a risk to go out on loan?
I'm coming. I'll explain. Just go ahead with
Sure,
what you're saying. Let me check his current contract. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Excuse me for coughing. I'm not sure whether it's a risk because are you saying in the context of then other teams wanting to buy him and turning his
And
head?
he would want to leave.
Yeah. Well, he's an academy player, so
he has again his current contract expires in June 2025.
Sure.
So
I don't think that argument is really applicable nowadays because you have people like a Mount, like a Gallagher, like a James that
no. Here's
made
the thing.
that transition.
Then I'll bring up the likes of what's his name, Livramento, Tariq Lamptey. There are a few others. This guy has gotten the opportunity.
They would be for the Reece James and Mason Mounts.
Yeah, there's an argument for those, but if Lewis Hall looks at the team and he has just 2 years left on his contract and looks at this current team, what I'm saying, the risk there, it will be difficult to get him to extend. If we're being honest, if he was your son, maybe you will. Would you advise him, extend to 7 years? Would you do that?
It depends on the circumstances and who was on the roster.
The circumstances is that he has just 2 years left on his contract. And that's where we find ourselves in the case of, again, Livramento. I'm not sure how long he had then, Maguire, and they know, and I'm sure other clubs are already looking at him because he's that good.
Yeah, but Coach, these players that you've just mentioned, these players, like virtually everyone else apart from Terry, didn't have a path to the first team. Now we have seen that to be the case. He's an example of that because he has indeed made that transition where those other individuals, the aforementioned, were not given that opportunity. You do have a Gallagher.
Do you know that Tariq Lamptey got the opportunity? Even I think Livramento got the opportunity. Maguire, he got the opportunity. The question is, they're not like those kids in those days. They're not like them. In times of, again, in those days, again, you could say when we had, what's his name, the older Chalobah, there were other players that stayed. If these kids look at them, they're rough. And some of them were rough, if we're being honest. Because give me the guarantee, except if Potter has other plans and convinces the kids to extend. But if Lewis Hall looks at this team, acquisition of Enzo Kovacic is still there, Kante is still there, and he continues singing, what's his name, Gallagher in the midfield area, continues singing, what's his name, Ruben Loftus-Cheek played in the midfield area, Zakaria stays and all that, he would want to leave, if we're being honest. But there's a chance, I'm not saying the possibility of convincing him to extend and send him out on loan isn't there. It is still there. It depends. We don't know his own perspective in how he sees the whole situation, if we're being honest.
I think there's a strong possibility that he does get loaned out, Coach. Having said that, I still think because he has seen that there is indeed a legitimate path to the first team, at least as a rotational player, because he's seen that now and it's credible. Well, prior to several years ago, that wasn't a credible, realistic opportunity. Now it is, Coach. And they're getting serious playing time, where before that was never the case.
Yeah, here's the thing. We're being objective, and that's why I like fighting with you. This is not a fight. I'm just kidding. I like the argument. Here's the thing, Roger.
Exchange of ideas, sir.
Yeah, I know you know the case of Musiala, right?
Not really, no.
He was a Chelsea. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. He was a Chelsea academy boy.
Sounds
he had
familiar,
to leave.
But yeah.
You can say one of the best players Germans had during the World Cup.
Then yes. I remember.
Exactly.
Right.
Then we lost one, but forget about. I'm really not concerned about the one we lost to. Again, was it to Liverpool or what? Tottenham. I don't know him that much. I don't think. But Lewis Hall, scouts, if they look at that game, that I nearly lost my voice. Not even that game alone. Even the day he played in the central, as one of the 260s or so,
He
how
dribbled
good
so
he
well,
is.
didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And he guides the ball so well. He's a confident player.
He's got
If Man
footwork.
City says, if Man City comes and say, we need you, you can fit in the first team, and we can be paying you such a man, and we can give you a 5-year contract, 4-year contract, it'd be
In the
difficult to keep him.
championship.
Yeah, exactly. No, but forget about it in the championship. I'm just saying, for instance,
Yeah, no,
because
of
he's
course,
such a
of course.
talent.
Yeah.
So my point is that it'd be difficult to keep him. But I'm going to try to catch up. Yeah.
No, you've got a credible point, and it has validity. I just think because of the history now that has been the precedent that has been set now by the previous players, I think there's a strong possibility that he will extend his contract. However, I'm not.
Do you agree equally? There's a chance he decides he wants to leave.
Yes, I do. You make logical sense. I think there's a case for both points, sir. To be honest with you.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Let me catch up with what more, again, interesting contributions we have in the chat, because it's about everyone here, not just the panelists. We cannot even, again, a bit for him, and you are all, again, here dreaming of winning the Champions League. Stop all dreams. Again, let's assume, Willie, if we're being honest, the first one we won, do you, by any chance, suspect we'd win it? No. Even the second one, we were the underdogs going into the final because Man City were firing on all cylinders.
It's a cup knockout competition. Anything is
exactly.
possible.
And I remember watching a video with Nini and the Man City content creator, and he thought they were going to beat us 3-0 in that final.
Yeah. So did I.
Yeah, and no matter how you see it, we were the better team overall.
But coach, realistically, we do have to temper our expectations. We have to rein it in a bit.
Yeah, it's only natural.
Because
but I'm just saying,
on paper, we look sexy, but on the field, that often doesn't translate into and correlate into results, as you know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, again, we're the underdogs. Even going against, Dortmund were the underdogs in terms of, again, how well they've done of late and how badly we've done of late. But I get your argument. You have every right. It's a solid argument because you have the numbers to back it up. Swap Gallagher with Locatelli or Barilla. Okay, if you're talking about swap, let's talk about it. Do you think the clubs would want him in exchange for Barilla? I don't think so in 1,000 years. Or even Locatelli, except if you're going to give them more money. Except if you're already going for, especially Barilla, who I know we want, but only if he wants to leave Inter Milan. Here's the thing, Eugene Nutty, all the positivity about Graham Potter. Once it comes to Gallagher, your tone changes. But you have every right to express yourself. We need the profile of Zakaria, but fitter. Yep, exactly. That's where we're all concerned.
That's a good point.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're all concerned, his fitness. In my eyes, Saliba is a better CB than Fofana. But again, majority carries the vote. I still think, here's the thing, Chalobah is a better defender. But in terms of ball carrying, you could argue, but we don't have enough enough sample to say, that's the conclusion there.
But you know what, though? They're interchangeable, and we're lucky that we have such depth and quality of depth. I mean, listen, if you're looking at Fofana being the starter and Chalobah not, or vice versa, what does this tell you? The quality is there. This is a great, and I use this term in quotation marks, problem to have, unquote. Most coaches would give their firstborn for this problem.
Yeah, how about Kovacic? I'm not sure about Kovacic's situation yet. I'll find out later. Prince, not yet back. Okay, you got a response there from my brother from the medieval land. You got to teach me how to say that. Prince, not yet. Okay, Gallagher has opportunity and too much opportunity. He has to have to the end of the season to prove himself, if that makes any sort of sense to you. Let me see anything else that I haven't touched here. Let me see. Always the same story again. Don't do that. Don't do that. And plus, you're a moderator. Don't do that. Stop mentioning nationality, please. If you're gonna find a way to phrase it that way. Don't mention nationality. If we're being honest, I think it's not okay. Gallagher can never be a rotational to Kante. I prefer Zakaria. If he stays, Yeah, I'm going to complete it for you because I know what you want to say. If he stays fit, Mason Gallagher cannot play in midfield. They create spaces that are vulnerable. At least you're talking from the again, making football sense and not mentioning nationality. I think Gallagher is better suited as an 8. He would do better there. I'm still arguing, but I know the gang thinks he's gonna do better deeper. The Bobby and Robbie and again and Roger
I've been called worse. Robbie.
apologies.
The combination.
You know I didn't mean that. Nobody
no.
wins in this life just by dreaming and not having again the knowledge and determination. Teams that has won trophies teams that have won trophies don't need a specialist to teach them how to win. But if we're being honest, the specialist hired is for mentor, and mentality is the same in everything. If you have again a sulking mentality, you sulk at what you do. But you have a winning mentality. Winning mentality, it doesn't have to come from a football expert. It has to come from a specialist. If we're being honest, if you get injured, you don't have to go again and say that person that's treating you must understand football. No, if they are knee specialists, they look at your knee and say, "This is what is wrong with your knee." If my argument makes sense to you, win one trophy in 1966 and they didn't deserve a robbery of a century. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Where is Santos? Who?
England, because we won it in '66. I get it.
Okay, where is Santos? Santos, we're hearing that the club wants to keep him, and to me, that's some good music to my ear. So, good morning to you too, John Port. I hope you're doing well. You will get superpowers if you do remain. Yep, he's saying smash the like button, people. We need 27 more to get it to 100 likes. Let's get it there, and I have a poll. We'll bring you into the selection. We'll continue as soon as possible. We should get Caicedo over Rice. Let's see what the club wants to do. If we get Rice again, it will make no, it doesn't have to be. The club doesn't have. People have their own opinion. So don't say again. You say if we get Rice, it will make a suicide. I don't think so. That's up to you. I just think we can do. We can. To me, I prefer other types of player. I prefer Ismail Benessa, for instance, than Rice. But I wouldn't say will. No, I think Rice will actually protect us defensively. But I want a player. Go ahead.
Do you think Benicia is on the radar with Vivell and Win Stanley?
Possibly, because I'm sure they know him.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Sorry, guys, please just give me a minute. I'll give you a shout when I get back. There's someone at my door.
Sure. All right. Yeah, we can. First things first. Enzo can be, again, De Bruyne, as long as, again, we have a good DM in Caicedo or Rice. I don't think he can be a De Bruyne. I don't think we signed him to operate from the deeper area. He's a deep lying playmaker. So, yeah, but I'd like him to be paired with somebody who'd be more defensively minded than him, which offers him, again, the independence to do more going forward, if that makes sense. Anything that makes Chelsea consider Madueke despite his injury record, I think we can also consider Zakaria as well. That's a solid argument right there. But here's where the argument falters is that Madueke is younger, if that makes sense. I saw that drift of Lewis Hall again in the Liverpool game, but he will develop a better position. And he's still young. Zakaria is injury prone. Some argument right there. Zakaria is a no for you. Bring Alphonso Davies. Let's see if we can get him. So he said Enzo can unlock our attack if Kante comes back. Again, have said that. I think so too. Some people think otherwise. Some people want, again, a traditional defensive midfield. And I think we can get that from Kante, given that he's become older. He cannot run that much. Just ask him to be more disciplined, and he'd do that. Again, I'm sure managers love him because of his ability to adapt to the managers' preferred tactical approach to the game, if that makes sense. Reece James, Bellingham, again, Ramsdale, and all this. Okay, just stop doing that. Let's see what we have here again. Bro, I saw a player from Portuguese League like Enzo Fernandez, Bruno Luis Diaz, Premier League is best, but it's not, again, arena of God. Like, you're a mod, and I've said that again. Stop referencing, stop when talking like that. Stop referring to somebody's nationality again, please. We need to buy. We need buyback clause if we sell players like Hall. That is if he wants to. If that makes any sort of sense, the player has to agree to that before you be able to do that. In this case, Coach, again, we have not improved or again, a win back-to-back games under this manager again. I think we had an unbeaten run under him, but I'm not sure about I haven't paid attention, but we should all be real. And winning the previous Champions League was no accident. We had a functioning squad. That's some solid argument too. If I agree with you. Let me see. Chalobah is a panic button. You think again? I agree with you, Eugene. If we get a beat upward at 35 million, I will sell Chalobah very quickly. Wow. Okay. Coach, money to you to Chelsea Blue. I see Chelsea fans are showing throwing tensions on social media yesterday about what. All right, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Thank you so much, guys, for all the contributions. Winning mentality has to come from individual, in my opinion, but sometimes you can stimulate that, if that makes sense. I've lived more than 5 decades, and I have been determined since I was born. Why would anyone want to hire a specialist? These things do work. It's scientifically proven. Kante won't be back the same when he's back. Okay, let's see. I hope you're wrong. We need Victor Osimhen and Moises Caicedo. That's some spending in the summer. From Kenya, always welcome me in your channel. I like your channel, Kochila. Thank you so much, Kevin. Marilla, you're welcome. Feel at home. Express yourself. Thank you so much. Just keep it civil. So let's go back to the lineup again. Roger, should we leave this for a while, or maybe I should get the vote of those in the chat?
No,
we'll come back to that.
By the way, just to let you know, Potter has won 5 consecutive games, 3 Premier League consecutive games.
Just to debunk that argument.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he got that from. And I can list the games for you if you want. I have it on a spreadsheet. So
don't worry about that.
The formation.
You talking
about Kante? Who should be the rotational player with Kante?
Yeah, that's where we're stuck right now. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek comes into question.
He does.
But he's more aligned to the way Enzo plays and Kovacic plays than again a more defensively minded player. He can barely actually read the game, which is the same issue I still have with Gallagher. But what Gallagher brings that he doesn't, he can a lot of running. But to me, if you're gonna play this deep and you're also tasked with protecting the defense, you should be at least at the very minimum be able to read the game, even if you cannot run.
Well, he's young right now, isn't he?
Yeah, and then we're using him there as a makeshift, if that makes sense.
Of course. Yeah. How many votes do we have on this, Coach?
Do you want me to give names? Let me kill what I have again. Let me create again a poll on that. So when they're voting, we can move on to other areas. So what are the names? Pairing again. Let me just say the best pairing for Enzo,
Gallagher, and Ruben, I guess.
But are we gonna? We're not sure whether we keep Zakaria. We're talking about players that were certain are going to be part of the team next season. If that makes sense.
But we don't not keep it. We can say the same for the opposite too. He's part of the team, and there is a potential to buy him. So why not include him? It's up to you. But he's not out of the equation. That's my logic.
Okay, so we need Zakaria in the list. Who else?
Gallagher. And Ruben Loftus.
RLC. And let me tell you on time, Gallagher might not even get a single vote.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because we're dealing with the fans here. Who else? Any other option there?
I'm trying to think. Not really.
Andrey Santos comes into play since we want to keep him.
Well, yeah, that's true, actually. That's very true. Yeah, but this isn't a 2-man pivot. I think he'll be.
But in this case, 2 here. We'll still do a 4-3-3.
Yeah, I think he doesn't fit in this equation, in this formation.
He doesn't fit in this one?
No.
But let's give it a shot. But can you explain why you think he doesn't fit in a double pivot?
Because he's going to be playing higher up near a 10. He's more offensive.
He's more of a box-to-box, you think?
Yes.
I think we're still learning more about his game, but let's see what those in the chat think.
Sure.
The best pairing for Enzo. I've asked the question. Boom. Let's go. RSC Gallagher, Zakaria. Let's go. All right, people. If you haven't, please take a second. Drop a like on the stream. We need just 22 more likes to get it to 100 likes. Let's get it there as soon as possible. I know we can because you people are absolute legends. So let me get this from Kenya. Thank you so much, brother, and welcome. The recent update have seen Chalobah to be swapped with Denzel. I don't think it happens. I think those are rumors. Chalobah is a fine defender. I know people, again, Chelsea fans were used to judging people by just one game, and that's not okay. Makes no sense for Dumfries. We don't need Dumfries anymore. We have Gusto and we have Reece James, if that makes sense. It wouldn't make sense to go for Dumfries again. Let Felix, Enzo, and Kante to start cooking. Let's see again. I see Caicedo as a perfect pairing for Enzo Fernandez. We don't need a Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Zakaria, and Gallagher next season. And we're gonna get. Let's make do. Let's make do with what we have right now. Then come next season, if anything changes in the summer, that's how we operate here. We will rebuild the lineup. But we're doing this exercise given what we have. Hello to you too. And Len Phil says again, you cannot plan to win EPL or the Champions League and depend on RSC or Gallagher. Not in the same conversation. Okay, thank you so much for that. Again, how are you doing, Phil? I hope you're well. Please do let me know how you're doing. So Roger, let's come to the left wing. If it was closer like this, we can call it an 8, but clearly we're positioning it to accommodate the wingers we have. So your thoughts on the left-hand side, to me, it's a no-brainer. You know the price tag makes a huge difference. Coach, I honestly rate you and the panel, but now I'm not convinced what you're doing with your selection mentioning. Here's the thing. That's the thing. If that's going to make you to give me a bad rating, fine. But here's the thing. I know you're just joking. But here's the thing. He comes into the conversation. But it's up to those in the chat to make the selection. It's not up to me. We have he has helped us where we needed somebody to do a lot of running in that midfielder area as an 8, and he was selected and he did a good enough job. But the last time he was an 8, he did a lot of running and he did a lot of good. Hate him or like him, we have to make do with what we have right now, and he's still at the club.
Coach, it should be neither. You should look at a player, regardless of who or that person is, and just base an opinion based on objectiveness and being
exactly. We just have to keep it objective. And here's the thing, I didn't say Gallagher is the future. My question is, where does he have a place in this team? More importantly, that's what the question I asked. Does he have a place in this team? To me, I think he get more opportunity as an 8. Again, there's no 8 here. No, again, this no number. There's the structure we're using 4-2-3-1, no 8 here. It's wingers and also a 10, if that makes sense. So yeah, but you have every right to rate me bad if you feel like, Coach. I cannot wait for us to start up back again, winning trophies. Thank you so much for saying that. Fan base becoming too toxic, unnecessarily, really. Yeah. And game so big up, bro. I haven't seen you for how many days now. Please do let me know how you're doing. I hope you're doing well, bro. Chelsea has hired a secondary tactician to help Graham Potter with tactics. Really? I didn't see that. But if he accept that, it's just him saying, I don't know what I'm doing.
Coach, I couldn't turn him down. I had to accept the job offer.
So you're the one that's been hired.
I wish, Coach, I wish.
All right. That's, by the way, again, I would love if Zakaria stays because he brings physicality to our midfield. But you should also be praying that he stays fit. More importantly, Zakaria stays. I want him to stay, but he has to prove that he can actually stay fit, if that makes sense. Thank you. I'm doing fine. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Phil. I appreciate you. Kachila, the probability of us finishing 5th or 6th is high. Kante returning and James Chilwell get good form. I think that makes a good argument there. Gallagher is not that bad. Come on, guys. But Chinedu, one day it's not up to me again. I just speak my mind. Everybody, you're all entitled to your individual opinions. Gallagher is very marketable. This summer, I would say Havertz, O'Connor, Pulisic, top 3. Let's see what happens. The best thing is when we are the underdogs, we win things. And I want to see that happen, really. Somebody's no, stop you.
That's actually funny. Come on, that's funny.
He's a mod. Eugene, you're a mod. You have to stay. It's more like being a pastor or an imam. So watch people look up to you as a mod. So be sure the language you're using. Big up, Coach. I'll hit you up on Twitter for the link. Okay, I'll do that in a bit. Gallagher out. Okay, if I say Potter out now, you tell me we have to be patient with Potter. That's the thing. That's the thing about Eugene. Gallagher needs a mentor again of this playing position. That's where my biggest concern is where does he fit. Atletico Madrid hope to get 140 million euros for Joao Felix. It depends on how well he does. He may well be worth it. Gallagher has 23 years in modern football, enough of learning. Coach, again, I normally work on rotation or on when you see me. Okay. But that's fine. Again, bills don't pay themselves, brother. So again, first things first, do the work. Again, office in busy. I understand, brother. Gallagher is not good enough for title challenging team. Again, we would be anywhere near the lineups of City, United, and Arsenal. Thank you. That's your opinion. But do you rate me?
I think he would for Liverpool.
Yeah. Oh, Klopp would take him in a heartbeat. And let me ask you, Cobra, do you rate me bad because I think like Gallagher should stay out because I think he's a good player. And my argument has always been, where does he fit in this team? But that's why the way the players has power over Potter. You think? I don't think that's the case. But that's by the way. Give me a second here. I need to give a link to Keshan. But that's by the way. So Roger, the left wing. Yeah, let me see your thoughts there.
Well, obviously Sterling, not. No, it's going to be Mudryk, of course. Show me your ID.
You know, I'll ask you that in a minute.
Can you imagine if I said it seriously? Be like fake account. No, it's Mudryk, obviously. Based on his debut, and I'm sorry to say this, but also his price tag is, for all intents and purposes, probably a consideration too, which is sad to say, because that should have no bearing on the fact, because the player doesn't have any effect on that at all. So, but I would say Mudryk.
It's him, obviously, given his playing ability. Go ahead.
We have to seriously ask the question: where does Pulisic fit into this team, and Sterling to a certain extent too? Where do these two players, who were prior to this transfer window, these were two very much high-profile players that have a future in this team, apart from injuries, of course. Now you have to question: do they even belong to Chelsea next season? Now, obviously, under Pulisic, he has an off-the-field asset ability also. He's very much a business asset, because of the fact that in the American market, he wields tremendous marketing potential, and not just potential, actually. He's a very marketable commodity, and no disrespect that these players are commodities. To the board of directors, that's all they are. They are not names, they are numbers, fiscal numbers, and you have to take that into consideration.
So the products, first of all.
Yeah, first and foremost. Unfortunately, I'm looking at it from a business sense of view at a 10,000 foot level. And that's what they are, Coach. They are commodities, fiscal commodities. And Pulisic, whether you like him or loathe him, he sells a lot of shirts, Coach. I have the records. I've always talked about how he sold more shirts than Cristiano Ronaldo, and globally, which is insane.
Only came second to Lionel Messi. So that's huge for the club.
Yeah, because America is a huge marketing. It has a population of 340 million or so, give or take a few. And
around that.
And he is the Michael Jordan of soccer in America. Just to.
Yeah, I know. Just to look for my trouble, but you're an American, so good for you.
No, he is, and this has to be taken into account when considering what's best for the team. I know this sounds insane, but this is a reality in life, unfortunately. So we do have to ask the question: where does he fit in?
Yeah, we'll get to him, but right now, I think you're talking about Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling could be the rotational player here. Because that's his preferred position.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to agree.
Yeah, if you're in the chat and you disagree with that, Raheem Sterling being the rotational player for Mudryk, you let us know. And the poll, let me see if I give it more time to get more votes. 41 votes, and Zakaria has 71%. Yeah.
Do you think this layoff for Sterling, do you think this will reinvigorate him?
Can you say that again?
Sterling, because he's missed quite a few games because of injury. Do you
Yeah,
think?
but given what we've seen, I think I understand your question now. Whether the signing of Mudryk will reinvigorate him, is that what you're saying? There's a chance he does that. Because there's a chance he came to Chelsea knowing practically he just walks into the team, given the issues we had then.
I'm the man, right?
Yeah, he came as the main. That's what Ty calls the main man syndrome. That's
it's very true.
Yeah, because as much as he's not the best on the ball, he should be doing better than he's done at Chelsea.
Yeah.
So there's a chance of signing of Mudryk lights the gas in his behind. And again, we see the best of him because now he has to work even harder to get into the team.
And no disrespect to him, but you had people like Gondawan and Kevin De Bruyne making unbelievably astute and smart, intelligent passes. You know, and what does he bring as a player? As much as I cringe when I watch him on the ball, because he's not his first touch is horrible, but Sterling makes absolutely intelligent runs to the near and far post. He understands the game, you know, and I think Peppers really has been a huge asset in his career because he didn't have that ability when he played for Liverpool. So I think if you have a Felix, if you have a Enzo, I think they may be able to unlock him potentially.
Yeah. Here's the thing. One thing I give him credit for, he has an excellent sense of positioning.
Yeah, very much.
He has an excellent sense of positioning. I just dislike the fact that he's played this game so long, but he's not capable of protecting his ball. Once you come from behind, you're taking the ball away from him.
Sure.
And once the ball is in the air, forget it. He might as well just bite it open rather than get it under control.
And also, Coach, you have to take into consideration in the locker room, he's a very mature, no ego kind of person, very subdued.
No, he's a good individual, but
very good. He does a lot of charity work, and he's a family man. You know, he has children. Or a child, I should say. And you know what? This has to be taken into consideration in the all-around package per se. And I think he brings a lot to the team. You know, as much as I criticize him, you have to look at it objectively. I would like to see him succeed because that means Chelsea succeeds. I don't have an agenda for any player whatsoever, Coach. I just feel that since he's arrived, I think he's been a shadow of himself for City, and
it's gotten worse.
Yeah, he's regressed, and I think that in part has to do with the lack of, shall we say, service, as you can say for Pierre-Emerick also. I think that's a contributing factor.
And guys, again, also one more time, an announcement, a new show coming up soon. We're using the working title at the moment. I'm not going to even say the working title because the Roger and I discussed it. The working title didn't even make sense. But a new show, an evening show where it'll be one-on-one. And believe me, you will enjoy it. It will be very lovely. Lots of plan gone into it. Pay attention. We'll launch that soon. Roger, if you don't mind, let me give those in the chat as some audience. Then we'll come back again. News again, Justin Thiago Silva's future at Chelsea has not been resolved. He wants to finish his career. That contradicts what he himself has said publicly, saying he wants to stay. Again, he's close to signing a new deal. And just a new report from Fabrizio Romano. I don't think I've seen anything new. This is it. Someone here. Chelsea are progressing in talks with Thiago Silva to extend the contract for one more season, valid until 2024. Discussions ongoing, waiting for green light. Considered a top player and leader in the dressing room. Chelsea hope. Again, this project, if we lose this guy now, it becomes even more difficult to get these players to start clicking together. So, and this was just yesterday, evening, again, 4 a.m. my time. I don't think if anything has changed, I think we'll be hearing about it. But I get it. Where is your source? I want to know your source to that news in particular. But we move on from that. We have Sterling. Again, let's see. Mudryk on the left for sure. And Kimso, you haven't told me. How are you doing, brother? Let me know how you're doing. Kashan, as promised, you have to be on camera for at least 1 minute, please. Again, I know it's you, your picture, everything aligns, but you know why we're doing that. Ziyech on the right. Let's see what happens in Mudryk right. Leao left. I rate your arguments for other players, but not Gallagher. Where does Gallagher fit in this team? A shot against the bench. Long answer, also the bench. Yeah, you shouldn't be sorry for expressing yourself. But Willie Bro, is that his name? Just came straight to saying again, Wilbury, he doesn't rate me that much, but I understand he's joking. Again, since the Real Madrid game, Pulisic is not a Chelsea player. Wow. Some argument. I wish we could convince Pulisic to be a super sub. He can literally play all the top 4 positions. The problem is he will not. He understands his value. He understands he provides more than just playing on the field. Plus, he's a good player. If we're being honest, he's a good player. Plus, also he's a big game player. Also, if we're being truthful to ourselves. And again, big up, Kishore. Respect to you for even being on the camera. I respect you so much. Even though I've accepted you, you could have said, okay, I mean already, so let me stay out. But I'll come to you in a bit. Big up American bro, can bring me with you to America. Okay, I get it. Mount currently sells more shirts. Oh, I didn't know that. But I know you pay attention to those. So, yeah, I didn't know that really. So, thanks to you and big up to my brother, Bobby Fairview. Nice to see you. Kachila, do you think Ziyech is mentally in good shape? I would think otherwise. I don't think he is, but the manager sees him every day. And I wouldn't have started him in that game against Fulham, given the situation. But the manager had to, for some reasons, I don't know. I don't train with them. He was laughing in training, which gives the impression that he's okay. But the truth remains, as a human being, such big move isn't something you forget in a day to him. Because, but that's why the way we're moving from there. Mudryk is a transition-based player, not a good player in possession. I think otherwise. So maybe when it's a possession base, that's why we call it rotational. Maybe Sterling starts, but I think Mudryk offers more than just running on the flanks. If you watch him closely, he's very creative. When we play against low block, there's a chance he struggles, and that what we saw against Fulham may have been the sample of what happened. So thank you for saying that, Coach. Bobby is right, but Pulisic and Mudryk can rotate. Again, I feel I actually like a Pulisic, just needs to stay fit. I like him. He needs to stay fit, first of all. Plus, again, that's important. But I don't think he's a player that accepts being a bench player or an impact player of the bench. No, he's too big for that for obvious reasons. Mudryk is good, but cannot score 20-plus goals a season. Mudryk right wing Leao. We haven't signed. Let's sign Leao first. Against Mudryk got no space to run. And cause havoc again. But some argument is that somebody was occupying his space, and I don't want to mention names. Someone saying Mudryk is not a good player. Well, let's see. Pulisic has always been hindered by the midfield. Yes, again, he's weak and gets bodied, but his ball intelligence is top notch. One thing, he always gets in the box too, and if you can service him consistently, he gets goals for you. That's one thing again, and he's a very confident player, always likes to take his man on. And my friend Lala, big up to you. I hope you're doing well. You should put membership in the channel. Don't worry, Lala. I know you really want to support the channel. I'll do that again in due time, but I don't think I should be doing that right now. But thank you so much. Much love to you, my friend. And I promise you soon, Soccer Perspective will be very active and still recruiting panelists for that. It's a channel that I know will grow so fast. We're closing in 1,000 subscribers in that one in particular. And jump out, please, again, you should consider giving us 5 minutes on the panel for birthday of your support. I've said that again, if you have a birthday, email me via Twitter, even your family members. I wouldn't mind giving them a shout out, as long as we don't overload the day with birthday wishes. Again, I hope you're having a good day. Again, Wagwan man. Let's see. Again, I'm good, Coach. Thanks to hear that, Kim. So I love hearing that you're doing well. One day, the face reveal, Coach. Oh, I'd love that. I'd like to get to know you facially. I think sending Gallagher on loan at Everton isn't a bad idea. It's too late anyway, because I think Lampard. Where are you living? I'm sure you're not, because you're very busy. You didn't know Lampard has lost his job, because if you check the fact, he was doing very well. Yeah, Lamps unfortunately have lost his job. I will send Gallagher to prison. Okay, I'll see what I can do there. Mudryk, Felix, Havertz, Nkunku, as the front three. Ruben is too slow to pair with Enzo.
I'm back, guys.
Okay,
Hold
yeah,
on.
welcome back, Bobby. Fans who rate Ziyech need to watch the Chelsea from a decade ago. Ziyech wouldn't even make the results, and that's why I'm cautioning people. Like, for instance, saying with your son, is it Palinha of Fulham? Don't just go straight to saying sign a player because of one game, if that makes sense. Pulisic is too easy to knock off the ball, but that's the least of my concern. But that's, by the way, let me bring you in, Kashan. Your thoughts on the lineup so far? Would you have done anything differently anywhere? Let me bring you in with that one.
Big up, guys.
And big up to you too.
Honestly, I think the lineup looks good so far, really. The only thing that I think would happen is that they'll put Sterling on the right wing and Mudryk on the left, and then you have Madueke be Sterling's backup on the right side, or Madueke would go either side depending on what's going on, you know. But other than that, everything looks fine so far.
Who's talking, Coach?
Kashan is his name.
Kashan, how do you do?
How's it going?
Where are you from?
I live in New York.
Ah.
The accent should tell you.
Yeah, East Coast, yeah.
He's one of those Hassan. I love New York. I love New York, but I hate it. It just looks like every time I visit New York, I get a parking ticket.
Yeah, that's good.
You love London.
Yeah, because you hardly find space. But that's, by the way, here's the thing, Roger Pop. Here's the again. Please use your Twitter handle so people can go follow you. I haven't collected the credentials of all those people on the panel to add them every show. Here's Roger's Twitter handle, Roger Pop. Bobby, please can you change yours to your Bobby? I think if you search Bobby Smoky Signals, you'll find Bobby. And Kashan, you can check your Twitter handle so you matches your name here, so it matches your Twitter handle so people can go follow you. But again, always nice. Again, nice to have you on the panel. So you said you're okay with everything. You wouldn't have done anything differently in terms of the selections we've made so far.
Yeah, in terms of this is for like next season's team, right? Or
yeah, next season. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Everything seems fine for the most part. Maybe just I would like to see Santos in the rotation behind Kante, but you know. That's pretty much it. I don't know if he'll go on loan or something, but the way that he's playing, he looks like he could put some minutes on the club. Like
he's a baller.
He definitely looks like a baller.
How about the argument? Because he's done well in that under 20 competition, but in the Premier League, he falls in the category of how we see Chukwuemeka. We've seen a bit. You could argue it fits as a 10 or an 8 in a different structure. How about the argument that Santos, we're not sure yet. He is the unknown in terms of being certain that this is where he really fits in the team.
I think Santos will be I think he's a perfect 8, honestly. I see on Brazil, he sits for them though, and he does great with that too. So I think he can do either or. And you know, people are like, yeah, he's playing U20 kids, but all those kids are gonna be growing up and coming into this league. So well, not all of them, but you know, a good amount of them will probably be coming to this league soon. So that he's
European leagues.
Yeah. He's facing his peers that he'll see years from now, and he's dominating them right now. So
he's a man amongst boys, isn't he?
Yeah, honestly.
And if you're in the chat, please take a second and say welcome to Kashan to the panel. Kashan, thank you so much. I appreciate you joining and obliging when I asked you to show your face. That means a lot to me. And I'll explain why we do that. You must have heard that yourself. What time is it again? I'm going to do the conversion. Oh, my goodness. Okay, just if you can do me a favor, do the conversion because I don't have time now. It's 11 a.m. UK. Yeah, but if you turn on the notification, once you go...
1:45. It's 13:46.
The East African time.
Oh, I'm talking about
when the show comes on.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Sorry, I thought you meant current time.
So again, it's you can say I'll do the conversion for you, and I'll get back to you later. Ziyech, again, no respect. Again, I don't care. Okay, you don't sound like a mod at all, but I handed that. I think Kante is accepting new contract. We're not sure it's everywhere. Tomorrow you hear that he's negotiating with Barcelona. Okay, yep. Again, if Potter doesn't start next season with a bank, he deserves to get again, especially with all these top profile, high profile signings. That's for sure. Petr Cech was one of the best, but David Luiz was overrated. Sorry, a lot of people think again he's a good player overall, but I think because he's prone to some comical mistakes and all that. You could bring in that argument that he was overrated.
Defensively, he had
Mhm.
he had fragilities, I must admit, especially in a back four. However, in a back three, he was more solid. But you have to understand that offensively, he added headers and, more importantly, from free kicks. He was clinical.
Yeah, you could say he scores the sort of goals that you see in every 100 years.
But no, but
from him.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? He's a very technical player. Well, he's obviously
He is.
Brazilian. His first touch is better than Sterling's. Seriously.
Mourinho has played him in the midfield before. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
He's one, I think, is a flamboyant defender.
Very.
It's very stylish and sometimes to his own detriment. Trying some stuff he shouldn't be trying in some areas.
But you know, it's because he plays it like he's playing on the beach back in Rio, you know, and you've got to love that about him. You've got to love that. I actually really enjoyed watching him. Was he sometimes, should we say, vulnerable defensively? Yeah, I think we can say that. But as a whole, I really enjoyed watching him. You're on mute, coach, or something.
Endrick is gone. Endrick is gone to Madrid. Looks like you're so busy, you're not sure what's going on. Ruben will be a good fit in case Zakaria gets injured. A makeshift, the two-man midfield maybe. But let's see what else do we have here. And one of the captains of the house is thinking, how about Lavia as a rotation for Kante? But we haven't signed him. He's not even on loan with at Chelsea. Bold prediction, but I would approve 100%. Lavia is also adventurous too. So we need, again, of the two players, one of them to be more defensively minded, which gives the other, again, if you could say Lavia would be good because he does well defensively, but let's say he was, oh my goodness. That's, by the way, here's an update here. Again, if you're paying attention with regards to your boy Santos, he says, Andrey Santos' agent has already had talks for Palmeiras in case Chelsea cannot secure his work permit and they have to loan him out. I'd rather him go out on loan in a European club. That way, again, it becomes even more easier to get him a work permit. Doesn't that make sense? What do you think?
Yeah, that's kind of a letdown. I want to see him on the squad, but yeah, he should really go to a European club for a year, maybe. But
to acclimate, also, you know.
So a European club loan will make more sense. I agree with you. Let me start with you again, Bobby. Let me come back to you, Bobby. Your thoughts on the selection so far? Mudryk as a starting left wing, Sterling as a backup player. Do you agree with that?
Mudryk starting on the left.
Yeah, in the left wing position. Yeah, with Sterling as the rotational player.
You know, what I saw of Mudryk at Stamford Bridge showed me his age, and as such has made me feel that I don't think he should start. I think he needs to earn his way into the starting place. If he comes off the bench several times and performs like he did against Liverpool at Anfield, then he earns his starting place. Because though it was said he had a cold, I personally believe, and I stand corrected if I'm wrong, I think he froze at Stamford Bridge, but that can happen to a youngster. I really do. I think he had stage fright and he couldn't perform. So he needs to come on. Now, left and right, I see Hakim Ziyech in training, smiling, laughing with everybody. I suspect he's still very much part of Potter's plans. It's a difficult one. Definitely, Sterling showed his maturity, came back from injury. He didn't do badly against Fulham. He was just himself. So I would start him on the left with Mudryk coming to replace him. Hang on, I outdo myself. Are we talking about West Ham or this is a future selection?
No, this is a
Next
future,
season.
future.
Oh,
Like
okay,
2023,
a future
2024.
selection. A
No,
future
2024,
selection.
2025, so to speak.
Okay, future selection. Hopefully, yes.
Okay.
My answer to
I know what
him
you're
on the
saying,
left.
though, Bobby. I get it.
I don't want to say Mudryk froze up though. I want to say like it was more so Potter's game plan having Mount. Mount was he wasn't even in the midfield. Mount was basically occupying Mudryk's space, so Mudryk was hugging the touchline. And then how was Kukurea supposed to get Mudryk the ball if he's just on the touchline and there's two other defenders in his way? Like
that's a solid argument. There was a bit of confusion in terms of the players applying you could say the tactics or so. But go ahead with what you're saying.
Whenever Mudryk got the ball, there would be immediately two people that was on him because a Mount's man would just jump on from Mount to Mudryk, and he wouldn't have anywhere to go.
There'll be an entirely different dynamic. Probably wouldn't be Mount. It would be someone like Nkunku or Felix, who are totally different players. And another aspect to that is that next year they would have learned how to play with each other just that bit more.
There'll be more chemistry.
How to, yes,
you would hope so.
I mean, all that sort of thing to me is very symptomatic of the fact that they barely played together. So, of course, every now and then they're going to get in each other's way. So I wouldn't worry about that. In fact, what would be interesting is to see what the fate of Mount will be if we succeed in keeping Felix and definitely when Nkunku comes. Because I have a feeling that that sort of 8-10 position.
Same for Pulisic, yeah.
We'll get to that. Yeah. Go ahead, Roger. Your response to that? Do you think that Raheem Sterling should start over?
No, I think Bobby was correctly talking about the West Ham game.
So that's a civil war right there. You're starting.
Yeah, no, not at all. I think
in your gang. But go ahead.
Really, coach? Really? No, I think. Listen, Bobby's right. This is exceptionally symptomatic of a bunch of players, a collective bunch that have not had the time to work with each other at Cobham and obviously at game time. It's just, it takes time. It takes time to gel. It's like an NFL offensive line. They need to gel. You can't just put 5 people on the line. You know, communication, knowing the nuances of each individual, where they prefer the ball, the timing also, don't forget. It's just a multitude of different facets.
Yeah, I agree
what
with
we take for granted when we see the finished product on the field. You don't just simply add water and voila. It's not like English cooking.
Some fans think that. Some fans are like, "Oh my God, he's here! Like we automatically have to win. Like everything takes
that's
time."
naive. Yeah, exactly.
And Potter's getting a new squad like every other week, so it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, Roger has a new gang member in Kashon. So go ahead, Roger.
Oh
go
my
ahead.
God. No, I think Sean has reservations.
No, but go ahead, Roger, with that response. So you think Raheem Sterling shouldn't start?
No, not at all. I mean, listen, it's too early to tell. I want to see more of a greater sampling size from Mudryk, but especially his first appearance, I thought he was outstanding, coach. I really do. So based on that, I don't know, hour or so that we saw him, that's just it's just too small of a sampling size. It's so insignificant. But what I was impressed with, and I've actually seen quite a lot of film on him, and he's got amazingly fast feet. He's very similar to Marnie from Liverpool with his footwork. He's just great.
And also quicker.
Yeah, very much so. His downfall, though, and his critics often say that his passing, he either passes the ball far too inaccurately or the pace on the ball is so wrong. It's either too soft or too hard. That will come with time. So, but his upside, his potential is obviously.
And then again, you pay attention to him always staying behind to work on his deficiencies.
Yeah, exactly. And you
huge.
have to compliment for such a young man to be motivated, because this
have that mentality.
Yeah, because you have a look at people like Lampard. This was his MO. You know, this is what he did. He was always the first on the training ground and the last to leave. And you want that in a person. Actually, you want that in all facets of the work space, no matter what you do, whether you work behind the keyboard or, you know, you have the luxury of working for Chelsea. So that's good work ethic, and you have to basically, shall we say, how shall I put this? We have to value that, you know, for a young man's work ethos.
Yeah, just quickly, guys, we need just 11 more likes to get it to 100 likes. Let's get it there as soon as possible. I don't have to always put a poll asking for likes. Please, if you enjoyed the show, take a second, drop a like on the stream. 11 more likes, that's not far-fetched. And let's try and get it to 150 at least by the time the show ends. Is Pulisic back? 2 days ago, he had a tweet, Instagram post saying, be back soon. We don't know when that will be the case. I don't want to rush him. I want to be sure that he's fit and ready to come back before we bring him back. But what, again, that means that Pulisic is back when he can now give 100%. Yeah, it doesn't make any sort of sense. So if he's back, let the doctors be the ones to say, okay, he's back. Pulisic and Aubameyang and Ziyech to Milan, Leao to Chelsea. I don't even think they would take those 3 players to give you Leao, because I see it. Maybe I don't know. I'm not in the Milan board for again. Play with 1-6. Yep. Again, I like that to happen. If you play with 1-6, I think, but it has to be a traditional 6 for that to work. But if you have again a 2 CMs playing in the double pivot, it will not suffice as a 6. A traditional 6 fine will suffice. Then you have 1 player to be added to the attacking area, if that makes sense.
Like a 4-1-4-1.
Yeah, something similar. Yeah, exactly. But it has to be a powerful, energetic, strong 6, capable of reading the game. So it's not simple to get a 6 that works like that. The list of players who could have the club could be at the club next season is crazy long one. Again, one of the goalkeepers. Goalkeepers, Koulibaly, Aspi, Kovacic, Ziyech, Pulisic, Stalin, Alba, and then you will have all the players out on loan. The list of players, who could leave? Okay, I missed that word, leave there. Apologies to you for misreading your contribution there. Now, again, no wonder we spent £16 billion on what? Kami don't start up. Pulisic can dance out a club. Okay, you see, no way Mudryk is on fire. Romano just tweeted about something. Yeah, again, I have that. We'll talk about that in a bit. Let's see what we have. Vadio for dribbling Stalin. Okay, I understand. Chelsea feel there will be no issues. Again, I have that lined up, but let me just read what you have here. No issues to get Andrey Santos work permit. Process very advanced as club remains confident to receive the game. The green light. Okay, yes, guys, please keep liking the stream. We have just 8 more likes to get it to 100 likes. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible and shoot for 150 at least by the time the show ends. Chelsea plan has always been to include Andrey Santos in the squad instead of loaning him out to Brazilian clubs. Fabrizio Romano, loaning him to a Brazilian club doesn't it doesn't really help, really, if we're being honest. It's a loan that wouldn't make any sort of sense. In a bit, let's look at the updates we have here in a bit. Just give me 1 second. It's this one. It's the reports are conflicting, really. It's not straightforward. But again, let me just say hello to DJ Sav here. Big up Kuchila, the panel, and everyone in the chat. I think Santos and Enzo for midfield pairing of what the player Andrey Santos is turning out to be. We need to see him again for the rest of the season if he ends up getting his work permit to be sure he fits there. The deficiencies Mudryk has reminds me of CR7. Ronaldo couldn't even cross the ball, but worked hard and turned into a what again? Yeah, exactly. So thank you, Tommy. Tommy, more importantly, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know. And DJ, big up to you too, brother. Much love. And again, I'm going to say this: pay attention. I know you want to be part of it because I think I'm gone. Yep, I'm really gone. Again, I'm going to open the other window to see if that helps me solve the problem. But Roger, if you can hear me, you can go ahead and talk about something when I come back.
Yeah, I can hear you, Coach. No problem. So,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we can talk about. I'm not sure. the left wing, it's going to be interesting. And you're right, there could be potentially a plethora of players that could be leaving, and rightfully so, because this squad depth, I mean, it's just astronomically huge. It's abnormally large. So I believe on the left side, I know Sterling can play on the right also, but on the left side, it's I'm not sure getting Leao makes sense because you have a Mudryk, because you have a Sterling, because you have a Pulisic. You have a depth of 3 quality players already, so it's nonsensical unless at least one of them leaves.
And it's not like he's going to come for cheap.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to come for £5.22p, is he? He's gonna cost the second mortgage job. Listen, I'm still befuddled. Where does Pulisic fit in the squad now with all these new acquisitions? He's probably has an exit plan, or at least his agent should, because it doesn't bode well for him because of the quality of acquisitions that have been made, and of course the quantity. So the writing's on the wall. I would not be surprised if he left this summer. I would not be surprised.
Well, certainly if it's true that Atletico Madrid want 140 million euros for Joao Felix, then I would very much imagine that Pulisic will be offloaded. And it makes me concerned.
Do you think we would spend that much?
I think we will, yeah. If he has a good season and fulfills his potential, it will be a small price to pay. And it gives me some concerns of Mason Mount. If Mason doesn't sign the contract, and and please, it is an almighty if it is true that he's holding back because he's seeking income parity with Reece James and or Kepa, and the club is saying, well, we can double what you've got, but we're trying to bring down our wage bill. And he's like, well, I don't care. I think I deserve this and this and this.
Then he's gone.
Yeah, I think.
Because
and rightly so.
Yeah, because we've initiated a salary plan,
Yeah.
And Reece was given that contract prior to implementing that. So
exactly.
Timing is everything, right? Just ask Mendy, poor chap.
Well, he should have signed his contract earlier. Much earlier, if he wanted to avoid this. I mean,
no, I agree.
I know
but hindsight's everything, isn't it? It's 2020.
Of course. I mean, the wages of people like Sterling doesn't help. I think that's just extortionate, and I'm not sure the club is happy with that. And maybe if there was a way out and somebody else was ready to pay that wage, they'll get rid of him before Mount. Another conundrum they have is Lukaku. I really think that's a problem.
Yes,
I really do, for our financial state and everything.
What is Pulisic on
thanks,
per
Marina.
week? Yeah, thank you, Marina. Exactly. That's what I like about you. What is Pulisic weekly salary? Do we know?
Pulisic is.
I'm not sure. I'm
not
sure, but he's one of the highest paid.
I'm not sure, but I don't think it's that high.
Really? I would have expected him to
something
be.
like that.
Okay, so he's under 200.
I don't know.
Because I know Sterling is 295.
It's 150.
There you go.
Okay, that's
I was right. It's high, but it's the kind of wage they want to give. I would suspect they want to give Mount, which is a very good wage when you were earning 75 before.
And that's without incentives, correct? That's a base.
And then the incentives, the add-ons come later.
Yeah.
With the add-ons, you could go up to perhaps 200. Because the income will be coming in to give him that extra pay. So I see no reason why he shouldn't sign. And if he delays, I can see them saying, well, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah. And
who are we talking about again?
Mount.
Oh, yeah, he may well
both of them. Both of them.
It may well happen again. But that's why let me catch up with the chat. We have just a few minutes to complete the lineup. So tomorrow we can start talking about all the topics. And probably do the preview for the West Ham game. Werner PTSD is all I'm saying. No, I think Mudryk is way too equipped than Werner is. Werner cannot dribble. Werner, again, if anything, you could say, given records, and he just emerged onto the scenes now. Werner is, again, given his record, is a better finisher, at least given the samples we have, if that makes sense. I'm going to be quick at, again, scrolling past your what you have there. We have, again, some updates. I'll look at them. We'll try and round off as soon as possible. Mudryk can score 20-plus goals. And Stalin, yep, if you paid attention to his numbers. Does anyone even know if Potter is playing a slow build-up, transition position base? I have to say, again, I can agree with you. There's no clarity as to what we want to do. If anything, one point is clear. More, you could say, more direct football than we did under Thomas Tuchel. And great, again, thanks, big up to you too, Coach Rojadinho, Sababi, and New York guy. His name is Kishon.
New York guy.
Kishon, but that's the new one. I think I'll just calling you New York guy from now on. No, again, because contract Leo expires in 2024, but he's on the verge of extending. We've heard it's something that has fallen through. We don't know. Kachila, do you think Mitrovic can be better striker for us? His experience, maybe he provides balance. He's a fine finisher. I wouldn't mind if we can get him, but I don't think it happens. I think we have enough in that area that the club could say, no need of trying to do that. Let me see, what else do we have here? And again, if we sign Felix next season, we could balance the books by selling players like Gallagher, Broya, Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi, his contract is winding down. How much are we able to get from him? I don't know. That's why I like Mourinho, because if you don't play or show commitment or some aggressiveness, he will bench you regardless of any player. Okay, Vadio will not sell Sterling. Guardiola will not sell Sterling if it's important for. Okay, that's a solid argument. Okay, and I saw Sterling. Okay, again, what was that about Werner? I'm not sure. Again, that's Werner's lawyer. Slug it out with the person there. I will be surprised if Real Madrid signed Erling Haaland and Mbappe. By the way, Werner still cannot beat the offside trap in Germany. He thrives in Germany. His biggest problem is in England is that a lot of teams defend deep, if that makes any sort of sense. That's why you will never see him have a consistent game again in England. So, but that's, by the way, we move on. He's not a player right now, but much respect to him, given that he never sulked, always hardworking, and that's why the fans still love him, and he still likes everything about Chelsea. We sign a player, he likes the tweet about it, and the fans still talk with him, and he responds knowing that they're Chelsea fans. So it's all love. And again, I appreciate that. I like him too. And again, he could actually work, but you have to maybe play him on the flanks. Like he's more effective for us on the flanks, not centrally, even as a second striker. He was more effective for us on the flank. So that's, by the way, guys, let's look at the updates and then finish the lineup. I have to go, and let's say I think in about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, there you go again. Fabrizio Romano, this was about 12 minutes ago, I think, 5:50. Yeah, that's about more than 12 minutes now. He says, I understand Chelsea feel there will be no issues to get Andrey Santos work permit. Process very advanced as clubs remain confident to receive the green light soon. Chelsea plan always has been to include Andres in the squad instead of loaning him out to a Brazilian club, and loaning him to a Brazilian club wouldn't make sense. This one says process very advanced. This is just repeating what Fabrizio Romano said. But this one understands for Chelsea, the same thing, everything. So it's all positive. Let's get into the lineup building and call it a day as soon as possible. Your thoughts, who plays number 10 position? Let me start with you, Kashan. Assuming we're going to keep Joao Felix. Because I don't think we would spend that much money. I don't think we got him just for the sole reason of him being on loan and going back to Atletico Madrid. I think we got him knowing fully well he wants to leave Atletico Madrid, and felt like, okay, maybe get him on loan first will give us an upper hand, given that other clubs would be interested. Kashan, your thoughts, who plays the number 10 position? We can assume he stays.
Oh, it's not a doubt in my mind. Mason Mount's playing the 10.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. I want Joao. I need Joao Felix to play the 10. If Mount is playing the 10, I don't know if I'm watching.
I nearly spilled my tea, mate. That's not fair. I'm sending you the cleaning bill.
Oh my
word! This is Glamorous, really.
I nearly spilled my tea.
So, Roger, Joao Felix, do you agree?
Oh my God, that was bloody funny. Well done, sir. Well done. Well
Yeah,
played.
the New York guy does it.
Yeah,
He got
well
us.
played. Got me indeed. Nearly.
So, your thoughts, the number 10, Roger.
Yeah, it has to be Mount. No, of course not. It has to be Felix. Otherwise, it's pointless. And you know, assuming that he stays healthy, etc., and there's no setbacks, we're assuming that obviously it has to be Felix. From the 58 minutes we've seen of him, he looked extraordinary. He was a different player. His pace, his energy.
So
his
who rotates with him? Sorry, you were still saying something. Sorry,
No.
Apologies.
Coach, no need
Havertz.
to apologize. It's me. Yeah, of course, Havertz, Kai. I love Kai. He plays so.
The chat picks Zakaria as the rotating player for Kante. So yeah, go ahead, Roger.
That's excellent news. So yeah, I would say because this is where Kai excels for his national team, Deutschland, and this is where he's a second striker. He's not a number 9, and he's certainly not a prototypical number 9. He was never signed as that. He was signed as a fluid front 3 player, basically.
Anything behind the striker.
Exactly, and listen, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that. You have journalists that all state this. It's as simple as that.
Some people actually think that again, your cousin Raheem Sterling is capable of playing the 10 role.
My cousin. Yeah.
No, I think my friend and brother Tyron Sachdiva was the one that made that argument, and I was like, "You serious?" And he said, "Yeah." But again, as much as I would like him to have him on the panel explain why he thinks so, because
he's done it for City before. I've seen it, but no, he's better suited where his speed can exploit the defensive backs on the sidelines, because he does have exceptional speed. You know, his downfall for Sterling is his first touch inherently. Would you
categorize him as a good passer of the ball? Because you could say that's a primary requirement for the number 10 position. Would you categorize him as having good vision in terms of finding the man that makes the run?
Primarily, yes, but he's inconsistent. Just being honest.
I'd rather see him at the false 9 than the 10.
Well, I wouldn't, because his first touch lets him down.
No, false 9, his positioning places him in better position, but you have to put it on a plate for him in most cases.
So if you noticed, he's never, if you look at, for instance, let's say if increments of half a season to a season, he's never consistently poor and he's never consistently great. He has a couple of games where he's either or very good or not so good. He's just so inconsistent. That's the one thing that I think has plagued his entire career, from Liverpool to City to Chelsea. That's my observation from him.
No, I understand. That's interesting, really. Okay, let me see right wing. Let me see what those in the chart. Again, what do you think, Keshawn, the New York guy?
Yeah, I'll just keep for the 10. Obviously, I said Felix. For as far as Raheem Sterling, I'll just keep him on the wing.
Yeah,
honestly, I think that's where he'll be best suited. Probably ahead of Madueke on the right side, because Madueke has the injury history, so I wouldn't want him to be playing every game in and out. So
I think I should redo this poll. You just made sense again. I think there's a chance he starts Raheem Sterling on the right hand side because of his experience and everything. But go ahead with what you're saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I would have Sterling there, and then I would definitely have Fofana at the 9. That's just me.
So you're right. Sterling actually can be a rotational player and/or bit part starters for both wings,
flanks, right?
Yeah, he's. I think he's best suited to the left, but yeah, I've seen him play on the right also. I understand that Madueke does indeed have an injury history, but he's so young, so You can't say he's been playing for 10 years where he misses so many games. It's still early in his career. So I think that's a slightly premature assumption or analysis to say that he's injury prone.
Yeah, let's see what goes in the chat.
I would like to see, and I've seen so much film of Madueke play, and he is a very, shall we say, progressive player. He attacks. He wants
He's
to take
great.
you on. Yeah,
I really like him.
I like him immensely. His left foot, he's wonderful, and his right foot is not to. His right peg is not to be planted so he can use his left foot. He gets to the byline and he passes very accurately with his right. He's not one-dimensional like a Ziyech. He's multi-dimensional in that regard. He's fast. He's strong. He's got everything. He's very direct. He's a breath of fresh air. I think if he can stay healthy, gentlemen, I think he's our right wing. Simple as that.
All right, guys, we have to end in about 5 minutes or so, 5 or 10 minutes. But let's see New York guy dropping, the end bomber on the panel. He fits. It just looks like he's been part of this team for a long time, and I love that. Let's see what else we have. Starling is class. Starling is best on left, in right, but I don't think he's starting over a very fit and again Mudryk really. Let's see. Big up the panel. Big up to you too, Chimera. If Starling is in the club, we have a problem. Well, I guess that's how you say relax. It's not as bad as Ziyech. Madueke for modern football. Here's the thing. I think, but Ziyech is not going to stay. Definitely, I think we can agree with that. He lives in the summer, so we're not calculating Ziyech. If we had Ziyech in the team, I think they'd be starting based on the game. When we have space in behind the opposition defense, Ziyech starts. But when we don't have space, when we need somebody to really take on the opposition, no matter if you have 10 players, Madueke is your man, if that makes any sort of sense. So we'll move on from that. Again, let's wait for the vote in the chat. I'm asking them starting right wing. Madueke is 77%. Starling 21%. Chukwuemeka didn't come into play here. He may well be the starting 10, but we don't know. There's no clarity as to where he fits because we haven't seen that much of him. But I know he's a very good player.
Coach, he's a number 8.
In a different information, which we'll do that tomorrow. But for number 9, Bobby, what do you want again for the right wing? Bobby, you have anything to say? We have. I haven't gotten your opinion yet.
Who have we got on the right? Madueke?
We haven't added anybody. Yeah. I'm still asking those in the chat, but 79% I think it should be Madueke.
I think. I mean, how old is this kid? 20, 21? He's got to be a rotator.
20. I think so.
It's got to be a rotator. I don't know who will start. Maybe that's where we put Sterling or...
Yeah, that's a strong possibility.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have...
Madueke is 21 years old and 1 month.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's got to be a rotator. That doesn't mean he'll have good game time, but we shouldn't be, using him as somebody that we really depend on. Game in, game out. I don't think it will be good for his development at all. So
I agree with that. Roger, don't agree with that. Go ahead, Bobby.
Plus, throwing him in the second half will just that will stun a lot of teams. Like in the second half, you throwing this dynamic.
At least to start with, and sometimes not play at all, and sometimes play the full 90, but just rotate
Mix
him.
it up. Yeah.
Trouble is rotating with who? It has to be Sterling.
Yeah.
There's also Pulisic.
Yeah, if he stays. But yeah, Pulisic, that could work. That could work. Does Mount play out the right?
Okay.
Yes, he does.
Here's one thing. Again, we've done the analysis and we think he's going to be Raheem Sterling, but here's where democracy comes in. Sometimes it's not what you want that happens. Those in the chat thinks it should be Madueke. 82%. Yeah, but we get it. Let's do what those in the chat wants. Again, because it's democracy here. So let's start again. We can say we can override that. If you guys think we should override what they want, it doesn't make sense. It's not okay. So let's say Madueke here. And Bobby, let's start you with the number 9 position, Madueke, and who can let's say put Sterling here if that makes sense. But it's called rotational. So That doesn't mean Madueke starts over Raheem Sterling. So Sterling may well start.
The number
Yeah.
9
Formation,
position.
please.
The number 9 position. I don't see. I have concerns about Brozier and this injury. I really do.
It's an
He's not due
ACL.
back till well into
If
the
he
new
comes back the same,
season.
is that your concern?
And it would no, I don't think he will. It takes a long time. We've seen it. We saw it with Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah.
We've seen it with Ruben.
Ruben
It
takes a year and a half to 2 years to
even get back to playing functionally again.
And then there's the psychological aspect.
Exactly. So I would my striker would be Fofana. I know I haven't seen anything of him, but he's the only natural striker we have, unless we're going to get one in the summer, which somehow I doubt. I think we'll have a natural striker, and then we'll use the false 9. That's where, whether we like it or not, is likely to be what will happen, because we keep forgetting the issue of Lukaku. Lukaku is a problem. He's taking up space. He is inhibiting purchases, and he's damaging the wage bill. That's the problem. If we offload him,
we'll get to that. We have about 5 minutes to end the show right now. Again, here's the thing: we understand Sterling can also play centrally. He can play as a false 9. He can also play as a second striker. He can also play as a 10. I've heard that argument. But given what we have, I'd rather we accommodate Joao Felix there or Kai Havertz than him, really, if that makes any sort of sense. Yeah, that's where we have a problem, because he comes in next season. Maybe we should stop now. We haven't even accommodated him. So that's a big argument. Again, there's no way Nkunku wouldn't start, even in this structure, but where? Yeah, so Nkunku comes into play in the 9 position, maybe as a false 9, but I don't think that this will be the case. I don't think he starts as yours, as a traditional 9. In this case, maybe in a 4-3-3 we'll accommodate him, but he needs a place in this team, really. Maybe we'll come back tomorrow, finish up this one, so that we have time to argue where Nkunku fits, really, before we finish this.
Maybe,
if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, see, don't forget, we're going to be playing in 4 competitions, 4 fronts, okay?
Yeah.
And so you're not going to be able to start, whether it's the same 3 or same 4 each and every week. There's going to be, I'm sorry to say, there's probably going to be a time when people are going to be injured, whether it's for a week or 2 or, God forbid, longer. So you have to have depth. You have to have at least 2 starting quality players in each position, coach, minimum.
Kai Havertz, the way Potter has used them, might actually not get a chance as a rotating 10. So let's leave this for proper argument tomorrow. Let's leave the rotating 10 with Joao Felix for, again, proper argument tomorrow, where we still have Nkunku to work with. We still have Datro Fofana to work with. Again, we still have also, he comes into play too. What's his name? The injured kid. So let's leave it. Let's not rush and finish it. Once we get it done tomorrow, then we go into 4-3-3 structure, because Nkunku is there. Yeah, Ruben lost his tickets. We'll still make an argument for Chukwuemeka too.
Yeah, these are good. These are very nice problems to have. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. I think this is referring to Bobby's argument, given what he said about the age of Madueke, and it's asking him how old is Erling Haaland. So again, skills does come into play. Yeah, it makes sense. But if you have the luxury of not overloading the young player, you be cautious, if that makes sense. But if you don't have the luxury, you have to start what you have in this case. But the argument makes sense. If he's good enough, fine. But if we have to ease him in gradually, that's the better way to do it, if that makes sense.
I'm a believer that if you're good enough, you're old enough, of course.
Yeah.
But the issue here is, you've got to take 2 things into consideration: the position the player is playing and the type of player. I mean, Haaland is a physical beast, and he's playing down the middle, where although he's pretty mobile for the position he plays, it's not that demanding in terms of running around. Whereas Madueke's game is based on running, dribbling, up, down, that sort of thing. And he's already had niggling injuries in this sort of early stages in his career. I think such players need to be managed better. We had this with Iron Robin. We didn't manage him. Mourinho will just throw him into games and use him from beginning to end. And if he survived it, he'd throw him into another one. He never rotated him. He was quite brutal in the way he used him. And of course, he's just the sort of player that Premier League defenders like to kick the living daylights out of. I'll never forget that famous Blackburn away game where we actually was a marker for us winning the Premier League. He was quite brutally injured by Mykhailo, their defensive midfielder. He broke his metatarsal and he was out for weeks. So I don't want that for our players. I think we should learn. And he definitely has to. It's only sensible to put him in a rotating position.
And we have the luxury to do that in that position.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, guys, again, well, I think we've come to the natural end of the show. I warped light with those in the chat. I was very late yesterday in helping, yeah. But again, I'm not going to say that. I've said it long enough here for you to get acquainted with it. Let's see. Yep, what else we have? Again, that's, again, I'm saying further again, Shahab, nobody's saying that Raheem Sterling isn't good, but is he been good of late? No. He's even bad enough. I get it. He had an issue during the World Cup that he didn't start too many games at the World Cup. Sterling is not a central player. He's better off on the wings. I know. I get the argument. Thank you so much, Kimso, for saying that. He should have, again, stayed at Aston Villa. Let's see what we have again. Lukaku wants to reduce his wages to remain at Inter Milan. He's burned down the bridge. He's even burned down the ground where you can rebuild the bridge. That's not good. Again, Man City get relegated with sanction. Let's get Pep. It's never going to happen. And here's the link to Jump On Entertainment's YouTube channel. Please go supporting good, again, cause there, helping the youth stay away from trouble and play football instead. So go check it out. Sterling was sold just to accommodate Grealish on the flanks. Yeah, and I think we'd probably be saying they'd better have a Grealish Sterling right now. Pep will leave next day. Please, guys, keep liking 100 likes. Let's get it to at least 110, 105, wherever we can. Coach again, Malo Gusto. Yeah, he's there. He's the rotational selection for Reece James. I think I have to let me have that on my screen. As you can see, yeah, Gusto, rotational player for James. Again, that doesn't mean that the player, the first player there will start. There's a chance Cole will start. There's a chance Silva starts over Fofana. It depends on the game. There's a chance James gets rested and goes to start, if that makes sense. So let's not rush to finish it. Tomorrow we'll finish it, then we'll start with a 4-3-3 structure. Further in his class, not Sterling, Haaland. Again, I think Roger will agree with you. With that, guys, we've come to the end of the show, and I want to say thank you to everyone who's found the time to join the show. Thank you so much. Again, Coach, again, they will get relegated. Well, I don't think they will do that, but let's see what happens. If it happens, okay, they deserve what they get. Nice to see you, Shahab Rahmani. Nice to see you. Nice to see you again, Eugene Naughty. Thank you so much for all the contributions, brother. Much love to you, Feded. Thank you so much. And the captain of the house, Liam Lane, who's probably busy doing something else, but always find time to contribute. Cabra, Kimso, my bro, who says we're going to make it to 10K plus. Thank you. It's happening. And thanks for all your support, DJ Soft. Who else did I miss? Anybody? Mohammed Dek. Did I miss your comment? Enzo and Andrey Santos. Let's see that. Tom Bryan. Everyone else. It's Kami. Liam Lane, I can't seem to find your comment, but I know you understand. Again, with that, we've come to the end of the show. Apologies if I missed your name. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye. Sorry, the wrong outro there.